Welcome to Toyota Stadium for live coverage of Georgetown College football on Stretch. My name is Jason Griefer. Happy to have you along with us. And yes, we are in a spring football mode this season in the Mid-South Conference Bluegrass Division. It is, in fact, the NAIA National Game of the Week as Georgetown hosts fourth-ranked Lindsey Wilson. Both teams come into today's game 2-0 on the season. Georgetown winning its first two on the road. First one a few weeks ago back at Cumberland's. A good win on the road against a good University of the Cumberland's team, 27-20. And then most recently, 1 week ago, Georgetown went on the road down to Lebanon, Tennessee, and beat the Cumberland Phoenix by a final score of 19-7. This game today against Lindsey Wilson was originally slated to be played on February 19th, but was moved back a couple of weeks because of a lot of inclement weather that moved in to the Commonwealth a couple of weeks ago. So both teams had an open date here today, and that's why we are here today at Toyota Stadium, what was originally slated to be a bye week for both teams. Lindsey Wilson comes in today 2-0, two easy wins for the Blue Raiders to start this season, the first being back 3 weeks ago as they trounced Pikeville by a score of 49-0, and then last week against Cumberland's an easy win, 45-10. But today is Lindsey's first game on the road. Those first two wins against Pikeville and Cumberland's being played down in Columbia, Kentucky. So first foray here for the Blue Raiders, and Lindsey Wilson has owned the series as of late. Remember, Lindsey Wilson just started his football program 11 years ago. Georgetown won the first 4 meetings in the series. Lindsey Wilson has won the last 6. You have to go back to 2013 for the last time Georgetown was able to beat Lindsey Wilson. That came in a regular season finale where the winner went to the playoffs and the loser season was done. Georgetown won that one 20-10. But nevertheless, Lindsey Wilson leads the all-time series here 6-4 and are doing it this year with, as usual, a very high-powered offense through 2 games, averaging 47 points per game. Only giving up 10 points in the 2 games. So their defense has really gotten off to a hot start this season. And everything with the Lindsey Wilson offense starts with quarterback Cameron Dukes, a senior out of Shepherdsville. 67% completion percentage, just 442 yards through 2 games, but they've really not needed him to be that top guy, especially coming off of a year ago where Dukes threw for nearly 3,400 yards and 35 touchdowns. He can also get it done on the ground. He ran for 12 touchdowns a year ago, but primarily likes to get it done in the air, and he will be the signal caller here today under 11th year head coach Chris Oliver. He has been the man since the start of the Lindsey Wilson program. Obviously a couple of tough years early on as you're trying to build a program, but he has them turn around in the last several years perennially one of the best in America. Lindsey Wilson reached the NAIA semifinals a year ago and fell to Marion by a score of 34-24. Marion, of course, always a national power as well. Let's take a look at the conference standings while we've got just a moment here before Georgetown and Lindsey Wilson take the field. The Tigers and the Blue Raiders, the only 2 teams in the league right now, off to a 2-0 start. You see Bethel in 3rd place at 1-0. They went on the road last week and put a beat down on the Thomas More Saints, winning that game 49-7. So the Bethel Wildcats making a big statement early on in the Bluegrass Division. You see Thomas More 2-1 in the year, Campbellsville 1-1, followed by Cumberland's, who's off to a shaky start after they were in the preseason top 25. They've lost 2 of 3 to start, of course, to the 2 teams we'll see here today on Stretch, and Pikeville and Cumberland bringing up the rear of the Bluegrass Division. Of course, the Sun Division is already completed its season. They actually played back in the fall. Kaiser ran the table in the Sun Division. The Appalachian Division just getting underway as well. Reinhardt and Kentucky Christian both undefeated right now. Good season to the start for the Knights in that division as they are off to a 3-0 start. And, of course, Reinhardt has been excellent ever since they started their program just a few years ago down in Georgia. For Georgetown, trying to get back into the playoffs after an up-and-down season a year ago, the Tigers had to win and come from a 35-7 deficit in the regular season finale of the 2019 season to beat Cumberland and finish the year 5-5, and thus it remains true that Bill Cronin, now in his 24th season at the helm of Georgetown, has never had a losing season. He comes into today's matchup, of course, as an NAIA Hall of Famer, but 206 wins against just 61 losses. Georgetown will really be looking to ramp up the offense, which has been struggling a little bit here the last couple of years. The Tigers last year averaged just 25 points per game, and so they'll be looking to fix that and get that going here in this one, averaging just 23 through the front two. And again, after that 27-21 over Cumberland's, and then a 19-7 win at Cumberland last week. One of the things to keep an eye on here in this game, Georgetown has 5 players who will not be in uniform here today due to protocol. We were not told who these 5 were. We know they are in the 2 deep, but weren't told exactly which young men they were, and thus will be out here today. So that could have an impact on things. We'll try and nail that down for you as we go along. And, of course, one of the other things to keep an eye on here for Georgetown early in the season, and early, I think, in this game, is the offensive line. The Tigers believe one of the guys to be out here today could possibly be on the offensive line, but nevertheless, Georgetown's offensive line has struggled through the front 2 games of the season. The Tigers running just 62 yards per game in the first 2 games, and also have allowed that offensive line has also allowed 9 sacks in 2 games. So that could be a factor here as well against a Lindsey Wilson defense that has 10 sacks through 2 games. Captains coming to the middle of the field. Sam Dingle, the starting center for Georgetown, and also T.J. James. He will be a starting safety for the Blue Raiders. Of course, Georgetown wearing the all-black uniforms with the orange helmets. Lindsey Wilson clad in the blue and the white. A little bit of wind blowing here from left to right across your monitor here at Toyota Stadium, but very thin clouds in the air. Temperatures really expected to be in the low 40s throughout, probably going to drop into the upper 30s by the time this game reaches its conclusion a few hours from now. Trying to identify here, I think, what happened here with the toss. Looks like Georgetown has won the toss here, and typically Bill Cronin in this situation will defer to the second half. And that's exactly what they will do here. So Lindsey Wilson will get the ball first, and we will get a look immediately at what has been one of the best offenses in the country, really, for the last 5 years. Lindsey Wilson's had a great run of quarterbacks since really the inception of the program. You go back to the beginning of the program with Brendan Cressup, of course, all the battles he had with Georgetown's Neil Posset, and now all the way through here to Cameron Dukes, and it's really just one picking up after the next after the next. With the COVID protocols, Lindsey Wilson not able to use the visiting locker rooms here at Toyota Stadium, so there is actually beyond the end zone out to the far right just above where Georgetown's set to come out, as you see here. The Lindsey Wilson buses are set up. They have a tent set up out there so that Lindsey Wilson Blue Raiders can gather and have a pregame huddle. Again, the visiting locker room not available to the other teams coming here to Toyota Stadium because of protocols. Also, visiting fans not allowed into stadiums really across the conference. That's not just a Georgetown rule. The Mid-South Conference has made it a rule that visiting team fans will not be allowed in attendance at any Mid-South Conference games on the season. There we get our first look here at Toyota Stadium for the Georgetown Tigers. Of course, the Tigers will have fans here in attendance, all groupings being kept socially distant, and of course everybody in masks, and had to be on a pre-approved list to be able to be in attendance here in this one. So should be an interesting one here. The first of 3 straight home games for the Tigers on the season. In fact, it's the only 3 home games of the year for the Tigers in this 7-game spring schedule. Georgetown will be here next Friday to take on Campbellsville. It'll be a 3:30 tip, and then on March 19th, the home finale will be the Bethel Wildcats coming to town. Georgetown will then close the season in the first 2 Fridays of April with road trips to Thomas More and to Pikeville. But an important one here for Georgetown, not only to try to snap the losing streak against Lindsey Wilson, but also to try to state their case for a playoff berth. As it stands right now, Lindsey Wilson, the only ranked team remaining on Georgetown's schedule. Of course, that could change as things go along. And I mentioned earlier what Bethel did to start the year, blowing out Thomas More a week ago, so they may become a factor in the rankings as well. But This is a big one here for Georgetown's playoff chances. If Georgetown comes up short here today, probably going to have to run the table the rest of the year in order to get in to the NAIA playoffs, as just the quality wins just at least at this point don't seem to be there on the schedule for the Tigers. But we will see what happens as the season goes along, and we'll be looking forward to having you the next 3 weeks here on Stretch. Winds starting to pick up just a little bit more as Georgetown is about to kick it away. Chris Klein will do the honors. He is the kicker for Georgetown this season. Back to return for the Blue Raiders is Hunter Watkins and Jalen Boyd. Boyd, one of the best all-purpose backs in America a year ago. Fourth in all-purpose yards in the country last year, over 1,800 in total. And Klein, the southpaw, will tow it up, and we are underway. He does have wind at his back, and Boyd will field it at the 7-yard line and going right. Huge hole there, and Boyd has space out the right side, out across midfield, and Jalen Boyd on the opening kickoff is going to take this 93 yards to the house. There was a massive gap on that right side, and Boyd took it there the entire way. But it also may have been aided by an infraction here as a flag back all the way at the 19-yard line. So it looks like this touchdown will come off the board. They're actually going to call an illegal block in the back against the Blue Raiders. So a break there for Georgetown as Lindsey Wilson had a 93-yard kickoff return taken off the boards. Flag thrown at the 19-yard line. And so we will wait for the officials to mark off the spot here. That's the 11th penalty on the season for Lindsey Wilson, and just starting its third game. Penalty was called on number 36, Shea Martin, who also sees time on the defensive side as a linebacker. So the penalty will back the Blue Raiders up to their own 9-yard line, and that's where the offense will begin. Cameron Dukes in at quarterback, 6'1", 205 senior. He will go with trips to the right, one receiver to the left. That's Josh Lewis, and Lindsey Wilson runs a spread offense. You will rarely see Dukes under center. Here he goes from the first, and the pitch outside to Jalen Boyd, and he is popped as he crossed the 10-yard line and dropped by Rob Sheffield, who has been one of the best defensive players for Georgetown on the season. That's his 10th tackle. He leads the team with 3 interceptions. A huge hit there on Boyd after a gain of 3, and Lindsey Wilson at the line. Another thing Dukes doesn't do often besides go under center is huddle. Handoff is to Boyd up the middle once again. He'll push his way forward to the 14-yard line. It'll make it 3rd down and 5. Lindsey Wilson through 2 games, 59% on 3rd down. Georgetown defense allowing a 37% clip, but this is by far the best team Lindsey Wilson has seen in the first month of the season. Keep an eye on Jaleel Warren, the big fellow, the tight end, on the near side of the line, 6'3", 215 out of Danville. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right on 3rd and 5. And it looks like Georgetown going to get called for offside here. I think they're going to get DJ White for it. Duke's going to have the first down anyway. But I think DJ White for Georgetown, lining up on the opposite side of the line, jumped into the neutral zone, but that'll be declined. And the result of the play should be a Blue Raider first down. And again, that is indeed the case here. 13 penalties for Georgetown in the first 2 weeks of the season for 116 yards, but that one will be refused as Dukes was able to scramble to the 24-yard line. They'll make that the 23-yard line they'll mark it off at, as we're just over 90 seconds into this ball game between 2 top 20 teams in the country and the NAIA game of the week. There is Warren in motion. And now Dukes will throw for the first time. He wants it all down the seam. Man is out there, and that is pulled down inside the Georgetown 30 by Terrell Cole, his 12th catch of the season. That is a gain of 50 on the play, and the Blue Raiders right at the line. Dukes to the near side, and that ball is dropped as it went right through the wickets of Demetrius Patterson. Patterson primarily works out of the slot. He has 6 catches through the first 2 games for 52 yards. But that catch by Cole, his second longest of the year, it now puts him over 200 yards early in the season. 2nd and 10 for the Blue Raiders from the Georgetown 23-yard line, not even 2 minutes into the ball game. Warren goes in motion left. Boyd in the backfield alongside Dukes. 3 receivers. Boyd gets the handoff. Patience in the middle. Not much doing there as he is met by Peyton Standifer of Georgetown. 3-4 defensive front for Georgetown. Roxvag, Roan, and Asamule, the transfer from Urbana University, on the defensive line for Georgetown. The linebacking core of Colin Smith, Peyton Standifer, Chad Holleran, and Jonathan Bothan. Holleran, impressive in his freshman year, already 17 tackles through 2 weeks. The safeties for Georgetown, Rob Sheffield and Kyron Simpson. Your corners, Zion Bethel and Devon Starks. 3rd and 9 for Lindsey Wilson. This ball at just outside the 25-yard line here. Dukes looking, stepping up, has his man inside the 15. Ball is out, and I think able to get back on it is Cole, as he lost it and eventually just popped up in the air right to him. He's right at the sticks. I think this will be a first down as he got to the 16-yard line, and it will be. So a break for the Blue Raiders as that ball was knocked loose, and Cole just happened to be right there to have it fall right back into his chest. So a first down for Lindsey Wilson now at the Georgetown 16-yard line. 12:10 to go in the opening quarter. Dukes makes his adjustment. Handoff going to the left side, trying to cut it back into the middle is Darius Clark, his first carry. Not much doing there for the junior out of Kennesaw, Georgia. 5'8", 170. It's his 18th carry of the season, but no gain there. He's run for 66 on the year and 1 score. Now Boyd back into the game for Clark here. Boyd can not only run the ball, he can also catch it. Comes into today, 7 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown as Warren goes in motion on 2nd and 10. Dukes the play fake, rolling right, has a man wide open on the outside. It's Cole, and Cole down inside the 5, and they reached out and broke the pylon. Touchdown, Lindsey Wilson. Was given plenty of space out wide by the Georgetown cornerback, and an easy pitch and catch, and Cameron Dukes has his 7th touchdown of the season, the 4th to Terrell Cole. "91-yard drive for the Blue Raiders to start the game, and Ian Souter will come on for the extra point. He has not missed on the year, 13 for 13. No problem on this one either. The big play, Cameron Dukes to Terrell Cole, a 50-yard completion, and Dukes to Cole to finish it out from 16 yards out, 11:17 to go in the first quarter. Lindsey Wilson takes the opening drive, 91 yards for the score. Georgetown will respond on the other side of the break here on Stretch. Georgetown will look to respond after an impressive opening drive for the Blue Raiders. Georgetown had Lindsey Wilson, though, on 3rd and long situations twice and couldn't get off the field. The last being a touchdown from Dukes to Cole from 16 yards out. And so Souter now will kick it off, and Isaiah Cobb and Bryson Cobb will be back awaiting the ball for the Tigers. No relation between the two. Wind has settled down here just a bit, and Bryson Cobb will take it. Some indecision there between he and Isaiah Cobb, and Bryson Cobb falls forward across the 20, just shy of the 25-yard line, and that's where the Georgetown offense will begin for the first time in this game. Hunter Kraus the starter, the 6'3 senior out of Fairfield, Ohio, so far on this season. 56% completion percentage, 452 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 pick. We might also see some of Zach Dampier in this game as well. Dampier has thrown 26 passes through the first 2 games, but it will be Kraus to start. He will go from the gun here on first down. Design quarterback draw, and really nowhere to go on that. Lindsey Wilson was ready for that one all the way. D'Angelo Barrios, the big fella in the middle of the Blue Raiders defensive line, was ready for that one all the way. It'll be a loss of a couple back to the 22-yard line. Barrios, a part of a 3-4 front for Lindsey Wilson. He'll be joined by Cameron Thurman and David Heilich. Linebacking core of Michael Leslie, Peyton Doles, Luke Bauman, and Latrell Streeter. Robert Carter and Cordarian Trice, the corners. Kayshawn Beasley and T.J. James, the safeties. After a loss of 2, Kraus will now go under center. Looking to the near side, Jake Johnson with the catch, and Johnson out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Johnson missed the season opener against Cumberland, came back last week against Cumberland, had 6 for 89 and a touchdown, and has his first year today. Of course, who can forget the game Jake Johnson had a year ago in that regular season finale against Cumberland when he caught 11 balls for 172 yards and 4 touchdowns, and Georgetown rallying from a 35-7 third-quarter deficit to win on Senior Day. 3rd down and 6 for the Tigers. They have not been good on 3rd down through the first 2 games, just 26%. Kraus into the slot, wide open, and a first down for Georgetown as that is swallowed up by Noah Kramer just across the 45-yard line. 6th catch of the season for Kramer, the senior out of Franklin, Ohio. Easy pitch and catch, nicely done. Good accuracy there in that zone for Hunter Kraus, and the ball out to the 47-yard line there. And that's going to be important as this game goes along. I mentioned Georgetown struggles on 3rd down. Lindsey Wilson's defense has been excellent on 3rd down, just 27% allowed. And of course, in the season opener against Pikeville, Lindsey Wilson set a program record allowing just 80 yards of total offense. They have been good through the first 2 weeks. Kraus near side, Johnson on the slant, given plenty of space by Trice. Jake Johnson just keeps the legs turning inside the 20. He's brought down just shy of the 10-yard line. Trice was playing about 8 yards off, an easy slant in from Kraus to Johnson, and then Jake Johnson just out-muscled Trice and will now set up Georgetown 1st and goal. They will mark it at the 10-yard line. A gain of 43 on the play, and a season long thus far for Jake Johnson. 1st and goal from the 10 for Georgetown. Xavier Abernathy in the backfield alongside Kraus. Kraus throwing out to the far side. Ball got there, and Kramer could have, if he'd have kept his feet there, he would have been into the end zone as Trice again given plenty of space. Tough throw for Kraus to make from the right hash to the left, but Kramer was able to secure it. It'll be a gain of 8 down to the 2-yard line there. If Kramer, though, able to keep that footing, he turns back to the outside. He walks into the end zone. He'll come out now. Tight end Cade Mullins checks in for Georgetown. He'll be along that line. Georgetown looks like they will go unbalanced. Mullins will be on the left side of the line, the strong side to the right. 2nd and goal from the 2. And they'll run straight in the middle. Abernathy try to push his way there. He's close to the goal line. He'll be just inside the 1 to bring up 3rd and goal. Abernathy heads out. Junior out of Covington, Kentucky. It'll be 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. Darius Barber and Bryson Cobb in the backfield. Georgetown again goes with an unbalanced line. Barber with the carry, Cobb leading the way. Barber out to the outside, and he'll walk in for the touchdown. Good lead block from Bryson Cobb. Springs Darius Barber into the end zone for the first time on the ground this season. 2nd overall touchdown for Barber, the senior out of E-Town, and Georgetown an extra point away from the tie. Very good response for Georgetown on its opening drive after Lindsey Wilson went 91 yards. Chris Klein on for the extra point. He, like Ian Souter of Lindsey Wilson, has not missed on the year, and that remains true here. 7:37 to go in the first quarter. Good start for both offenses as we are tied at 7 here at Toyota Stadium. Lindsey Wilson goes 91 yards on its opening drive. Georgetown goes 76 on its opening drive. So now it'll be the job of each team's defense to get themselves going. That touchdown right there, already more points than Lindsey Wilson's allowing on average in the first 2 games of the year. Gave up just 10 points in their last win over Cumberland's, and, of course, shut out Pikeville in the opener. And in the combined of the 2 games, allowing just under 145 yards, but Georgetown goes 76 on the opening drive here to tie the game at 7. Chris Klein one more time to tee it up. Klein, the new man, booting the ball this year. He's a sophomore out of Lynchburg, Virginia. Hunter Watkins and Jalen Boyd again will await the kick. Boyd had the first kick, and now they'll try a pooch kick, and it'll be fielded and fair caught at the 37-yard line on the play by Ryan Stump. So Georgetown, understanding the dangerousness of that return from Boyd on the first drive, will not take a chance here on drive number 2, and Lindsey Wilson will start from its own 37 in a tie game. 7:35 remaining here in the first quarter. Last time these two teams met was November 9th of 2019. Lindsey Wilson won the game 34-18. Cameron Dukes in the game, 345 total yards and 4 touchdowns. Here is Dukes to throw. Time slipping away, and that one knocked away as the intended target in the middle was Demetrius Patterson. Good closing speed from behind there on the play. That was Devon Starks knocking that one up. Starks right now playing in a safety spot for Georgetown. Like Zion Bethel on the one near side quarter. Kyron Simpson's moved to corner at the top. Now the push pass near side to Boyd. And he'll be out across the 40 and shoved out of bounds just shy of the 45-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 here for Lindsey Wilson. Easily converted on 2 third downs on the opening drive. And they will look to do so here. 2 receivers to the right, Josh Lewis to the left of Cameron Dukes. 3rd down, and let's call it 5 from the Lindsey Wilson 42. Tiger nearly jumped the neutral zone. In fact, they're going to say he did. Dukes is going to take a shot down the field, and Cole has got another one as he turned Kyron Simpson all around. And Dukes, knowing he had the free play, just took a shot down the field, and Cole brought it in at the Georgetown 29-yard line. So for the second straight drive, Georgetown jumps offside, and Lindsey Wilson takes advantage. Dukes goes to Cole for a gain of 29. And Dukes and Cole already in sync early. In fact, Cole's already near 100 yards in the first nearly 8 minutes of the game. Now he'll take the swing pass here. Actually, that's Josh Lewis. Lewis trying to make some hay across the 25. He is brought down by Peyton Standifer at the 24-yard line. That'll count as a rush for Lewis as he was behind Dukes when he caught the ball. But that's the variance within this Lindsey Wilson offense. They'll put guys in motion. They'll toss it behind. You've seen the shovel passes a couple of times out wide to Boyd. Now a read option. Duke's going to tuck it and run himself. Looking for a block out wide, and he'll slide down just inside the 20-yard line and was touched up there by Sheffield. Lindsey Wilson's staff wanting a personal foul there as Dukes gave himself up just inside the 20. And now they've actually given Dukes forward progress for a 1st down. So they'll spot it just inside the 20, really the 19.5-yard line. 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter, and Lindsey Wilson's offense on the march again. May end up being just one of those days where the offenses rule the day. Sometimes you'll have that. Dukes with the push pass out wide to Boyd. 2 defenders there. Boyd going back in the middle. Now he's going to reverse, and he's got space. Jalen Boyd inside the 15, working out wide. He's inside the 10. Actually, he'll duck out of bounds just shy of the 10 there. Actually, they'll mark him at the 10-yard line, but nevertheless, looked like Boyd had some space there to pick up a couple of extra yards and just shut it down just outside the 10-yard line and did not pick up the first down. It's less than a yard to go for a first. But nevertheless, I was surprised to see Boyd just essentially give himself up there as he was approaching the 10. Still really good job of reversal of the field there by Boyd as Georgetown had that toss to the right, read well. So Boyd goes out, Darius Clark in on 2nd and short. And Clark up the middle, he'll have the first down and a bit more. And Lindsey Wilson now will be at 1st and goal at the Georgetown 6. Peyton Standifer again in on the stop for the Tigers. He has been a busy man here in the first quarter. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. Lewis split out to the left, Cole to the right. Clark remains in the backfield with Dukes on the heavy front. Dukes looking for it, nowhere to go, and he is going down back near the 15-yard line. Held onto it just a bit too long. He won Lewis on the slant on the near side, and Zion Bethel was in excellent coverage. So now Lindsey Wilson loses 8 on the play back to the 14-yard line, where it is now 2nd and goal. Looks like they'll go with a similar front here, at least for now. See, Patterson has worked his way back into the game. So a third receiving option. He'll be in the slot on the near side alongside Josh Lewis. And Terrell Cole will be at the top side, matched up with Kyron Simpson. See if they look to Cole here. Playing clock down to 2. And Dukes gets it off here. Dukes scrambling. Nowhere to go with it. Trying to make something happen. And he's making one man miss. And actually stiff-armed a Tiger as he works his way inside the 5-yard line. He has sneaky quickness and really good job of eluding Georgetown tacklers there on the play. Deceptive strength as well from Dukes. And a much more manageable now 3rd and goal situation just inside the 5-yard line for the Blue Raiders with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in a first quarter that has been flying. Dukes will have Clark in the backfield with a heavy front once again. Patterson in the slot. Lewis to the top side. Clark getting it on the handoff up the middle. He's pushing. His line is pushing. And this is going to be marked at about the 2-yard line. And so the Blue Raiders have a decision to make here on 4th and goal. And based on what we're seeing from the sideline, the decision was made a long time ago here. And it looks like Lindsey Wilson will keep its offense on the field. They are 5 of 6 from 4th down on the season. Georgetown allowing 4 of 7 conversions. The last time these two got together in November 2019, Lindsey Wilson was 5 of 7 on 4th down. They need the end zone to keep this drive alive. Dukes keeping it all the way out to the right side and gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Quarterback power all the way along that right side behind the big fellas, Dawson Oliver and Ronnie Kramer on the right side of the offensive line. And Cameron Dukes into the end zone on the ground. He did that 12 times a year ago, more than capable in that area. What was a straight quarterback power all the way. Trust the right side of your offensive line. In particular, right tackle Ronnie Kramer getting the start here today, the 6'3 freshman out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee. He goes 315. As I mentioned, Dawson Oliver, the right guard, 6'2", 317. Just too much muscle for the Georgetown front on that right side. And now Souter back on for an extra point to once again reassume a 7-point lead for the Blue Raiders. And no problem at all. So Lindsey Wilson's offense moving up and down the field with ease thus far against Georgetown. 2:26 to go in the first quarter. The Blue Raiders 14, the Tigers 7 here on Stretch. Isaiah Cobb and Bryson Cobb will await the kick of Ian Souter. As after a 91-yard opening drive, Lindsey Wilson goes 63 on drive number 2. And now it's up to Georgetown's offense to answer, as we have 2 minutes and 26 seconds to go in the first quarter. A little bit of a wind. The ball will hang up into the air, and Isaiah Cobb will field this at the 10-yard line. Right side, Bryson Cobb trying to lead the way, and Isaiah Cobb will cross the 25 to the 26-yard line. Virtually the same spot where Georgetown started its opening drive. Really outside of the first play for Georgetown, which was a designed quarterback run that Lindsey Wilson stuffed. The Tigers moved down the field with ease to put the ball into the end zone. Came on the legs of Darius Barber from 2 yards out. Kraus will go from the pistol with Isaiah Cobb in behind. Xavier Abernathy got the bulk of the work offensively on that first series. Kraus again, quarterback draw all the way, and he'll get out to the 30-yard line for a gain of about 4.5. Interesting, Georgetown trying to use the quarterback run here early in the game. Just trying to give Lindsey Wilson different looks. And the Tigers without 5 players that were listed on the 2 deep coming into this one due to protocols, and that was just determined just hours before kickoff. Again, we were not told who those players were that were on that list and thus not here today. Kraus on the far side has Barber. He has been really good out of the backfield catching the ball. That is his 14th catch already of the season. He has a Georgetown first down to the 43-yard line, I should say, a gain of 13 for Barber. Give him now 14 catches for 190 yards on the season and a receiving touchdown. 1:30 to go in the first quarter as the Tigers approach midfield. Man in motion for Georgetown. That's Brandon left. Kraus looking to throw again. And a scramble to the near side, and Jake Johnson just toe-tapped the sideline. He'll step just inside Lindsey Wilson territory. Good accurate placement on the ball, and good job by Johnson to keep his feet in the field of play and pick up a gain of 8 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 2 from the Lindsey Wilson 49-yard line as we approach 1 minute to go in the quarter. Outside of that first play, Hunter Kraus has had plenty of time to throw. Georgetown quarterbacks have been sacked 9 times in the first 2 games coming into today. Line's held up better in this one. That's Abernathy trying to lower his head. He's near the first down marker. That's going to be close. And they will go ahead and give him the forward progress for the first down. We've not seen Georgetown's usual number 1 tailback, Nick Conley, on the field thus far. Again, don't know what the situation is there with Conley. We were not told of anything there with him before the game. Aaron Maggard in motion to the top side. Kraus on the delayed draw. Here is Isaiah Cobb. Cobb's got some shiftiness. He'll also lower his head and run you over, and he does just that to get an extra yard out to the 42-yard line, a gain of 5. And Georgetown's offense looking very strong here early in the game as Isaiah Cobb took that to the 42. Hunter Kraus looks at the clock and says, nah, we don't need to run another play. And the first quarter comes to an end. Good start for the offenses thus far in this ball game. Lindsey Wilson's had the ball twice. They've put it in the end zone twice. Georgetown is on their second possession after an opening touchdown. We are at the end of 1 here at Toyota Stadium. Lindsey Wilson leads Georgetown in the NAIA Game of the Week, 14-7 on stretch.
I wanted to make sure I went to a college that could help me grow in my faith. Georgetown just encourages me.
I've just learned to accept that we have different beliefs and we may believe different things within Christianity, but we all come together.
When I came here and got to know the staff and faculty, I just felt like it was very personal.
Ever since I've been here, I have grown closer to God. It has allowed me to grow further in my faith. When I was looking at Georgetown College, I found that they had a Christian Scholars Program that kind of focused on vocation and a person's calling.
Two things that have made it incredibly important about its history is its commitment to academics and its commitment to be faith-filled and help nurture this Christian identity.
The way they see their role in the world is greatly transformed from being a Christian to doing something as Christ would do for the world around them.
Lindsey Wilson allowing points in the first quarter, in the first half for the first time this season. Georgetown on the move, looking to add more to that as the Tigers trail 14-7 as we begin the second quarter and Georgetown's second offensive series of the game. Tigers really had no issues on the opening drive, going 76 yards for a score. Lindsey Wilson's offense has been up to the task as well. They've moved twice down the field for a total of 158 yards and 2 touchdowns with relative ease, but still a long way to go in the ballgame. 2nd and 5 for Hunter Kraus out to the far side. That ball's behind and should have been picked off. Not the most accurate pass there for Kraus. He threw it on the back shoulder of Brandon Leff. And T.J. James couldn't get his hands on it as he was in the area. And if he is able to corral that one in, he has enough momentum down that left sideline. He's probably gone to the house for a pick 6. So a break there for Georgetown. It'll result in 3rd and 5. Tigers had that big third down conversion to Noah Kramer in the first quarter on the opening drive. He's on the sideline right now. Jake Johnson and Tamir Jones, your receivers. Kraus to the near side. That is caught and pulled down by Barber right at the sticks at the 38-yard line. Looks like he's going to be about a half a yard shy. And I would fully expect Georgetown will go for it here on 4th down and less than a yard. And Coach Cronin not liking the spot he's getting on the near side, but I thought it was a fair spot from our officiating crew. So the ball spotted at the 38-yard line. Georgetown needs to get just outside the 37 here. Big play here in the game. Now Cade Mullins checks in late, and the play clock already down to 8. And Georgetown may have to burn a timeout here. Coach Cronin working towards the head linesman. Indeed, Georgetown will take a timeout as the play clock was winding down after the late substitution. So just over a minute to go in the second quarter. Georgetown facing a 4th and 1 from the Lindsey Wilson 38-yard line, needing it to keep the drive alive here on Stretch.
Here's how this will work. You'll watch this commercial, then look up Georgetown College. No, not that one. The Christian college in Kentucky. You'll be impressed with the school and your scholarship. You'll watch GC win yet another national championship with lifelong friends. You'll attend Oxford University. You'll take a class with that professor who blows your mind. You'll find your major and your career. You'll get internships and graduate, and your Georgetown degree will get you that first job or into grad school. You'll remember this as the moment that shaped your life. You're welcome. Think different. Think GC. Apply now at georgetowncollege.edu.
4th down and about 2 feet to go to keep the drive alive for Georgetown, as the Tigers are just outside the Lindsey Wilson 38-yard line. Need to get just outside the 37-yard line. And so now Georgetown gets itself set. Hunter Kraus back out. Xavier Abernathy will now be the tailback for Georgetown. They will be in the pistol. Lindsey Wilson bunched up front. No deep safety for the Blue Raiders. It's one-on-one coverage outside. Kraus up front, and I don't think he got there. Faked like he was going to toss it out wide to Abernathy and never got there. And the Lindsey Wilson defense, led by the big fella, D'Angelo Barrios, again in the interior of that line, holds. And Georgetown will turn it over. Kind of surprised by that call right there, as Georgetown really ran the same play on the very first play from scrimmage. And Barrios was there once again, and now Bill Cronin having a conversation with his quarterback, Hunter Kraus. So perhaps Kraus made a wrong read there on the play, not sure. But in either case, Georgetown turns it over and now gives the ball back to a Lindsey Wilson offense that has been moving down the field with ease against this Georgetown defense. Cameron Dukes back to work. He's had 1 touchdown in the air and 1 touchdown on the ground on the last drive. Dukes going to hand it off here to Clark. He eludes DJ White, but Peyton Standifer second in on the play limits Clark to a gain of 1, and Standifer's busy first half continues. DJ White's been another outstanding addition to this Tiger defense. Junior transferred in, started his college career at Eastern Kentucky University. He's out of Madisonville. 3 sacks in the first 2 games. Actually, all those came in the opener against Cumberland's when he was National Player of the Week. Dukes wide open out to the slot to Demetrius Patterson as the Georgetown defense was in a deep zone, easy pitch and catch. And some nice chunk yardage here for the Blue Raiders. It'll be 3rd down and 3 from the Lindsey Wilson 46. They're right at the line, and Clark trying to get out wide, slips, and that's a break for Georgetown. Trying to hustle up to go to the short side before the Tigers defense gets ready, and Clark slipped, and with that, Lindsey Wilson will send on its punting unit. And so the Georgetown defense holds and negates any damage off of the turnover on downs. We'll see here, though, if Lindsey Wilson does indeed execute the punt. Ian Souter on. If he kicks it away, it'll be his 4th of the season. Darius Barber will await the kick at his own 15-yard line. Hit a return of 32 a week ago against Cumberland. Line drive wobbler, and Barber will field that at his own 19, and he'll move out just shy of the 30-yard line before ducking out of bounds. And a late flag comes in at the 33-yard line. Wait and see what that infraction is. Lindsey Wilson had a special teams penalty to begin the game, a block in the back, which negated a 93-yard kickoff return for touchdown. And now Georgetown gets called for an illegal block in the back. It's called against Jaden Barnhart, the freshman wingback out of Lexington. And so Georgetown will be backed up. First accepted penalty of the day against the Tigers, and a couple of offside penalties on Lindsey Wilson's first 2 offensive drives. And so now the offense back to work after that turnover on downs. A good job by the defense to not have anything come of it. Kraus will go under center this time. Receivers giving plenty of space out wide. Kraus went to throw it to the far side and lost it as he brought it back as he was looking for Johnson, but was able to have enough time to pick it up and then throw it out of bounds. Kraus was on the windup on the throw out wide to Jake Johnson. The ball just slipped out, but thankfully he had just enough time and the wherewithal to pick it up and fire it into the Lindsey Wilson bench to live and fight on a 2nd down. Good awareness there by Kraus, and also took a fortuitous bounce. A lot of times you'll see quarterbacks just fall on that ball, but realized he had time as Barber and Mager go in motion to the near side. So Johnson again, one-on-one at the top side. Kraus stepping up. He'll take off down the field. Kramer wide open, but an inaccurate throw from Hunter Kraus as Kramer had broken free down the seam on what would have easily been an 80-yard touchdown, and Kraus missed him. Kramer ran right between Marcellus Campbell and T.J. James down the hash mark, and Kraus just misfired. Kramer was already 8 yards behind the defense when that ball should have been on target. So a missed opportunity for Hunter Kraus. He'll look to make that up here on 3rd and 10. Looks out to the far side, pressure coming. Toss it down the field. Jake Johnson out there and overthrown and incomplete. So the Georgetown punting unit will come on after a bad sequence from Hunter Kraus. Losing the ball on 1st down, missing a wide-open Noah Kramer for what would have been an 80-yard score on 2nd down, and then overshooting Jake Johnson on 3rd down. Webb Bates on to punt for Georgetown. Josh Lewis will stand at his own 43-yard line. Not much of a win right now, and Bates able to get this one away. A high kick, and this is a good one Lewis going to chase all the way back just outside the 30-yard line and really nowhere to go. He'll get back to the 40 because the kick was so good from Webb Bates. That was excellent work from Bates, the junior out of Shelbyville. I think it took Lewis a couple of moments to locate it in the sky before eventually trailing back on it. Punt of 50 on the play and a return of 10. So Lindsey Wilson's offense back on the field as the defenses have started to settle in here. 11:55 to go in the second quarter with Lindsey Wilson leading 14-7. Here is Boyd out wide. White forces him back inside, and I think Boyd may have picked up a half a yard. Good work by DJ White from that outside linebacker spot. Marcus Asamale with the stop there. Senior out of Miamisburg, and he transferred in from Division II Urbana University after that school closed its doors a year ago. Dukes catch out wide to Patterson. Good open field tackle by Sheffield at the 45-yard line. Sheffield and White have been these stories for Georgetown defensively on the season. Also give a call to Chad Holleran, the freshman out of Frankfort, who came in today leading the team with 17 tackles. 3rd down and 5 now for the Blue Raiders, needing midfield to keep the drive alive. 4 minutes into the second quarter. Dukes has 2 to the right, 1 to the left. White at the top side of the defensive line for Georgetown, stunning inside. Dukes nowhere to go. Trying to find space, has all day to throw. Out to the far side, being chased down. He'll go down to the backfield by Chad Holleran. DJ White came in late to close, but Chad Holleran takes down Cameron Dukes in the backfield. That is the definition of a coverage sack. New Georgetown defensive backs coach Star Thompson got to love what he sees in that exchange right there, as there was just nowhere to go for Dukes. Ian Sauter will punt this one away. Once again to Barber. Second punt of the quarter. Low snap there, but Sauter get it away. An end-over-end kick, but a line drive returnable for Barber at the 20-yard line. They've got across the 30, trying to get to the near side. Trying to slip through another one. Out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Another flag comes in on the play on the far side of the field at the 32. And so what was a 16-yard return for Darius Barber might be wiped off the board. Wait and see what the call is, but thrown in that area, generally it's in the area of a hold or a block in the back once again.
During the return, personal foul, illegal blindside block, number 53. That's a 15-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. First down.
15-yard penalty called against the Tigers on the play. And so it'll back Georgetown up again. So another special teams gaffe from the Tigers. Wind's starting to pick up once again. But Georgetown now, because of the penalty, backed up to its own 17-yard line. Maggard comes in motion. Trying to get the screen pass, and that was deflected at the line. Nicely done on the play by Cameron Thurman to recognize the screen setup. And fortunately there for Georgetown, Barrios could not come catch the ball as that seemingly fluttered up there forever. But it falls incomplete. So Krause, after a first quarter in which he went 6 for 6 throwing the ball, has struggled here in the second. Krause has missed 5 of his last 6. Krause out wide and nowhere to go with it. That play was blanketed the entire way out wide by Latrell Streeter, covering the man in the slot. That was Will Thomas on the play, so nowhere to go once again. So a 6 for 6 start for Hunter Krause, and since then he's 1 for 7. 1 for 7 for 4 yards here in the second quarter. It'll be 3rd down and 10 once again, but that play right there, really nowhere to go for Kraus. Maggard again in motion. Kraus looking, has time. Over the middle, Barber has it for a first down across the 30-yard line. Good job to find Barber in that zone as Streeter and Carter were closing in late. And a pitch and catch there of 13, and Georgetown will move the sticks. Both teams averaging right now right around 6 yards per play in the game. 9:15 to go in the second quarter. Georgetown converts on a 3rd down. The Tigers now 4 for 6 on 3rd down in the game. Kraus, again, there. Maggard catches that. He is stuck at the 36-yard line on the play by Michael Leslie, and then a whole host of other Blue Raiders come in to bring down Aaron Maggard on the play. It's his 13th catch of the season. This one a gain of about 4.5 to 5.
Tackle by number 6, Michael Leslie for the Blue Raiders. Brings up 2nd and 6.
Second and called a long 5 here for Georgetown, as again Aaron Maggard and Darius Barber moved to motion to the near side. Jake Johnson one-on-one at the top against Marcellus Campbell. Into the middle, Johnson has it out near midfield, and he'll cross into Blue Raider territory. Another one where you see the Lindsey Wilson corners giving Johnson plenty of room off the line. Campbell a bit undersized at 5'8" and 148 pounds, so he's got to give Johnson space out wide with Johnson's speed, and Jake Johnson takes advantage of it for the first down. Johnson's 4th catch of the half, right around 70 yards. 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Georgetown on the march once again. Kraus takes this one. A lot of pressure coming in, and he is going down to the backfield. That play never had a chance from the get-go as Lindsey Wilson brought pressure, and Latrell Streeter has the sack of Hunter Kraus. Now 1.5 on the year for Streeter, the senior out of Louisville. He attended Fern Creek. Called a loss of about 7 back to the Georgetown 44-yard line. Or it'll be 2nd and long. Still looking for Tamir Jones to get going in the offense. He's on the near side at receiver, the 5'11 senior from Norcross, Georgia, transferred in from Georgia State. Instead, they'll toss it out near wide to Barber, and Tamir Jones throwing a nice block. It'll allow Barber to get into Lindsey Wilson territory at the 47-yard line, and that's a staple of the Bill Cronin offense. If you want to play wide receiver here at Georgetown, you better be able to block, and Jones did a nice job there to spring Barber for a nice gain there, and it'll make it a gain of just about 9.5. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Georgetown 4 for 6 on 3rd down here in the first half. Jones will be near side, one-on-one, matched up with Robert Carter. This is Leff in motion. 3rd down. Kraus, nowhere to go once again. He's going down again. Back at the Georgetown 45-yard line. Sacks have been an issue for this Georgetown front on the season, and Kraus is taken down to the backfield one more time here in this series, and Georgetown will punt. David Heilich in on the sack. Now 1.5 on the year for him. Webb Bates on the punt for Georgetown once again, and Josh Lewis will step back and put a heel on the 15-yard line. Under 6 minutes to go in the half, and Bates going to kick into a bit of a win here. Lindsey Wilson playing for the return of the way. Not a good kick here from Bates. Line drive. Lewis bobbled it, though, and I think he was able to get back on it at about the 25-yard line. And now some pushing and shoving after the play, and Georgetown's going to get another personal foul call. I think they're going to get the freshman Jeremy Adams pushing a Lindsey Wilson player down after the whistle. Wait and see here on the official call, but that's what it looked like from my perspective there as Adams got tangled up with a Blue Raider on the play.
The play resulted in Lindsey Wilson recovering the ball. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. On the kicking team, number 20.
That is indeed the case. So it's an unsportsmanlike call against Jeremy Adams. That's his first unsportsmanlike of the game. If he gets one more, he's tossed. But it's the second time now on special teams in back-to-back series where Georgetown has picked up a personal foul type penalty. Likely a case there where the second man involved in the skirmish got caught. But nevertheless, it's a play of inexperience there from Adams, who's got to know better. Now they changed the number. It was not on Adams now. Thought it was, but instead they're going to call it on Trevor Brock. So not on Jeremy Adams. And he was the one in the play. I saw him for the top, and that's why the officials pointed him out from the get-go. So Trevor Brock gets called for it. The sophomore linebacker out of Somerset get called for the 15-yard penalty. But that's the last thing if you want, if you're Georgetown, to give this Lindsey Wilson offense free yards. Your defense has been playing well here in the second quarter. Don't give them an advantage. Boyd out wide with two linemen leading the way across the 45 to the 46-yard line. This is a young Georgetown defensive unit. They have 39 active players on the roster on the defensive side here available today. 21 of them are either freshmen or sophomores. So you might see some plays like that as the season goes along, some of those inexperienced plays. Here's a flea flicker. Dukes down the field, has Patterson out there, and Bethel comes back, and great recovery to knock it away. That ball underthrown a bit as well. I think Dukes could have gotten some more air into that and led Patterson as he was behind the defense, but Zion Bethel makes a nice play in recovery after Lindsey Wilson tries some trickeration on 2nd and 4. It now becomes 3rd and 4 on the pass breakup from Zion Bethel. Bethel, another one of those youngsters on the team. He is just a sophomore. He played very well in his freshman campaign a year and a half ago. 3rd down and 4. Lindsey Wilson needs midfield. Dukes with time. Over the middle. Patterson right through the wickets, and an overthrown ball there from Dukes as Patterson was open. But Demetrius Patterson only goes 5'9", and Dukes threw it to a guy he thought was about 6'3", and so Lindsey Wilson will punt. And Georgetown's defense, after a shaky start in the game, has really settled down since the beginning of the second quarter. Sauter again on to punt, and Barber will await at his own 15-yard line. Barber's had some opportunities here. Sauter has not kicked the ball well. This one better. It'll give his coverage some time, and Barber fields the fair catch at the 17-yard line. Nice job out there by Hunter Watkins as he was charging in on Barber to avoid contact. So Georgetown will be backed up once again. 5 minutes to go in the half. The Tigers have 2 timeouts, and Georgetown will receive the ball to begin the second half after deferring on the coin toss. First of 3 straight home games here in consecutive weeks here at Toyota Stadium. Campbellsville comes to town next Friday. We'll have the coverage for you here on Stretch. 3:30 kickoff once again, and 2 weeks from now, the Bethel Wildcats come to Georgetown, Kentucky. Quarterback change here for Georgetown. Looks like Zach Dampier will get this series, and now before he can, Georgetown's going to back up 5 yards after a false start. Another play of undiscipline from Georgetown. You've already had a couple of personal foul penalties on punt coverage and now a false start. Fourth penalty of the day for 45 against the Tigers. And now they'll start this drive from their own 12-yard line. As Dampier in, 50% on the season. There's a catch out there. Maggard spins off of one man, and he'll cross the 20-yard line. Robert Carter for Lindsey Wilson went for the knockout blow and made no attempt to wrap Maggard up, and he just bounced off of it as he crossed the 20-yard line. Maggard showing some toughness there on the play. Nice gain of 8. An easy pitch and catch there for Dampier to get him going in the game. Dampier, a senior out of Danville. Leff will come in motion. Flag on the play. Leff is out here on the near side, and did he get a foot in bounds? The two near officials are going to discuss it here. That was close. Looks like they're going to give him the catch here, but a flag on the play. We'll see what happens. See what this call is here. The ball, as it stands now, marked at the 35-yard line and is a first down. And they actually call Ben Kalu of Lindsey Wilson offside, so the penalty will be declined there. And Brandon Leff has a first down for Georgetown as he was wide open on the wheel route on the near side, and Dampier put a nice ball in. 4:12 to go in the first half. Georgetown now at the Lindsey Wilson, at its own 35-yard line. They'd like to be at the Lindsey Wilson 35, and why not closer? Dampier out wide. That is caught again by Barber. And Barber out to the 39-yard line. Busy day thus far for Barber. That's his 5th catch. He also has the Georgetown lone touchdown on the ground, on top of what he's been able to do thus far in punt coverage, or punt return as well. Gain of 4 there. You'll notice here with Dampier, doesn't have quite the arm strength that Hunter Kraus does, but the Tigers like his accuracy. Puts a better ball on at times than Kraus does. Delay draw, Abernathy gets the big feet rumbling, and he'll move ahead to the 43-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2 from that juncture for Georgetown. Tigers now officially 3 of 6 on 3rd down, but they have yet to really get the running game going. You factor in a couple of sacks right now, and it's just 10 carries for 10 yards for this Georgetown rushing attack. 3rd and 2. Cobb in the backfield. Lindsey Wilson crowding the box. Dampier throwing all the way out wide, and that is dropped by Aaron Maggard as he turned the corner before he secured the catch, making it 4th down and 2 here. And Bill Cronin has a decision to make on his own side of the field. Do you risk giving Lindsey Wilson the ball back here? And the answer is no, and he'll punt it away. Do you risk there not converting and giving the Lindsey Wilson offense the ball back, especially the way your defense has been playing? I think this is the right decision here to back up the Blue Raiders and trust your punter, Webb Bates, to get a good ball off, as Lewis has had some issues handling these punts. Did not locate the first one well, and the last one he nearly fumbled away to Georgetown. And he has had some trouble. I think that also factors as well. Bad snap over the head of Bates, and now he tried to pick it up. And it's picked up by Lindsey Wilson, and coming back this way is Latrell Streeter, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. A bad snap over the head of Bates, and then he tried to pick it up instead of just falling on it. And the linebacker, Latrell Streeter, picks it up and rumbles into the end zone. Another special teams mistake from Georgetown here in the half, and this time they pay for it in the ultimate way. It's 6 points for Lindsey Wilson. Bates is not a tall guy back there. He's not Josh Edwards from the last few years. He is much smaller in stature. But I don't know that even Edwards catches that snap. Just a bad play all the way around. And now the extra point is up and drilled through. So 2:38 to go in the half, and disaster again on special teams for Georgetown. It had been penalties before, and now the ultimate disaster as Lindsey Wilson returns the bad snap into the end zone. Latrell Streeter with the touchdown, and it's now a 21-7 Lindsey Wilson lead.
Wear your mask properly above your nose and covering your mouth. Thank you.
Georgetown's going to get the ball back here. Still with 2 timeouts, and the Tigers will get the ball to start the second half. So you're still obviously well within reach in the ball game, but play like that you just cannot have. You're giving the ball back to an offense that had been struggling. As I mentioned, the punt returner Josh Lewis had been having all kinds of issues handling the punts today, and the snap was just airmailed over the head of Webb Bates. And a play of inexperience there from Bates, not just falling on the football. Tried to pick it up and overran it as Isaiah Cobb goes into the end zone. And that ball is through the end zone for a touchback. Sauter had a little bit of wind at his back that time as the wind has continued to pick up once again here at Toyota Stadium. But Georgetown now will take over. See here who goes out at quarterback this time. Looks to be Hunter Kraus back in the huddle again for the Tigers, but we'll see if he's the one that actually leads them on the field, and indeed he will. Kraus in the game, 11 of 17 for 144. Cameron Dukes on the other side for Lindsey Wilson. He's 6 of 10 for 114 and a touchdown. Kraus will go from under center. This is a drive here at Georgetown. Ideally, you'd like to take the rest of the time off here in the half. Isaiah Cobb will get the handoff. Not much doing there. He may push the pile to the 27. It'll make it second down and about, we'll call it 7.5 as he got just across the 27. But the Tigers right now, not in a big hurry here. And I think, if anything, you just don't want to give this Lindsey Wilson offense the ball back here, or if you do, with any time. 4 receivers for Kraus have fired out to the far side, and Jake Johnson now drops one as he got moving before he secured it. So now the second drop for a Georgetown receiver on the game. We saw Aaron Maggard in the last series let an easy one go, and not often do you see Jake Johnson let one go like that. He has as sure of hands as anybody in the Mid-South Conference. But a routine play right there, and Johnson can't make it. You can sense the Georgetown sideline still in a little bit of stunned silence after that botch on special teams. See here if they can break out of the funk on 3rd down and 8. Kraus has time over the middle. Barber wide open again. Darius Barber across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Georgetown needs 8, and they get 20. Those balls have been open all day as Lindsey Wilson continues to sit in that deep zone on 3rd down, and the Kraus to Barber connection has been there for the Tigers. That is Barber's 6th catch of the day for 66 yards. Kraus with pressure, rolling left, fires it over the middle. Good catch this time by Aaron Maggard on the play. And behind the play, the last thing you want to see, Hunter Kraus is down. Maggard with the catch to the 40-yard line of Lindsey Wilson, but the focus now changes as Kraus took a shot at the end of the play, and he is being tended to by the Georgetown training staff. And looks to be, now may have just had his bell rung there as he took an awkward shot. Springs right up. That's a good sign. He'll have to come out for at least one play. Hopefully nothing serious there, and just took an awkward hit. So Zach Dampier will now have to come in the middle of this 2-minute drive. Dampier in his lone series in the game, 3 of 4 for 27. He steps in now with the ball at the Lindsey Wilson 40-yard line, and the Tigers trying to get some points back before the halftime break. Pressure coming from the Blue Raiders. They'll rush 5. Dampier near side, Aaron Maggard. He's out across the 35, and most importantly, out of bounds, just inside the 35 with 1:21 to go in the half. Be second down and a long 4. Dampier remains in. As Hunter Kraus was banged up on the prior play. Here goes Barber in motion to the top side. Draw to Cobb up the middle, and the Blue Raiders are ready for it there. Isaiah Cobb just gets one to the 34-yard line. 1:10 to go. The clock rolls. Neither team electing to use a timeout there after that play. As we now go under, 1 minute remaining in the half. 3rd down and 4 for the Georgetown Tigers. Jones will be in the near side receiver. Johnson all the way to the top with Barber and Maggard in the top side slot. Dampier out wide. Maggard wide open across the 25. He is upended by Marcellus Campbell at the 24-yard line. Georgetown sent Barber on the seam route down the slot, and it cleared out the underneath route for Maggard. And now Dampier will go to the line and ground it with 39 seconds remaining on the clock. And Georgetown may ask for a little more time to be put back here on the clock as it ran a little bit after the whistle. At least I thought it did. Clock shows 37-7. I thought Dampier got that down around the 39-second mark, but they're going to discuss this. And I think actually the sideline judge is going to go ahead and say the clock is good. So we'll see if that comes back to be a factor here. 2nd and 10 for Georgetown from the Lindsey Wilson 24-yard line. 2 in motion again. Barber and left to the top side. 3 receivers to that short side up there, and left out there. And that ball is deflected and really should have been intercepted by Cameron Thurman as Dampier threw it right into the hands of Thurman. That's a play right there for Dampier. You've got to lob that over the top to left and not throw a line drive. Thurman is 6'2", 265 pounds. Odds are you're not going to get it through there, and that's a ball Thurman would love to have back and what should have been an interception. And now the clock didn't run on that play, so they'll have to take the clock down. It'll show 34 seconds. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Wind into the face of Georgetown, so this would be a tough field goal from here for Chris Klein, who has a long of 38 on the year. Pressure coming from the Blue Raiders. Dampier gets it out to the near side, but nowhere close to a first down as Brandon Leff pulls the ball down at the 21-yard line. And the clock will stop with 23 seconds to go in the half. Georgetown has elected to go ahead and call a timeout here with 23 seconds to go. I'd have to think you're calling a timeout here. I'm thinking Bill Cronin's going to go for this. From this spot, you're looking at about a 39-yard field goal from the left hash and kicking into a wind. I don't know that that would be within Chris Klein's range, especially with the wind. If the flags were silent, I think Bill Cronin might have taken this all the way down to just a handful of seconds and then kicked the field goal. But calling the timeout this early makes me believe he's going to go for this on 4th down and about 7. The Lindsey Wilson defense surely expects it as they send out their starting 11. And it will be the Georgetown offense as Chris Klein heads back to the sideline. And it will be Zach Dampier with it. Hunter Kraus was in that huddle right there. But it will be Dampier's ball on 4th down and 7 from the Lindsey Wilson 21-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Dampier into the middle and high and behind Jake Johnson, and Georgetown will turn it over. Dampier throwing into a wind, and that's right there where the lack of arm strength from Zach Dampier can hurt you as that ball got into the wind and just seemingly died. And for the second time in the game, Georgetown will turn the ball over on downs. Lindsey Wilson will get it here with 18 and 7 on the clock. They do have their full allotment of timeouts. They also have a 21-7 lead. So do they take a shot here on 1st down? Or do they decide to be content with a 14-point lead and go into the locker room? We'll see. It looks like they're going to set up and run a play here on 1st down. If you can pick up some chunk yardage here As I said, you've got your full allotment of timeouts. Dukes will throw. Has all day. Out wide. That is caught by Jaleel Warren, his first catch of the day, and he has a first down to the 33-yard line, and now 13 seconds on the clock. First catch of the day for Warren, 5th on the season for the junior out of Danville. Still a lot of work left to be done here for the Blue Raiders to get in scoring range. Duke still with time. Too much time, and he's going down in the backfield. And looks like Lindsey Wilson has decided that's enough, and they will take a 14-point lead to halftime. Offense ruled the day in the first quarter. The defenses carried things in the second. A huge special teams mistake from Georgetown allowed a Lindsey Wilson touchdown off of a botched punt, and that brings us to where we are at the break. We are at halftime in the Georgetown football home opener. The Tigers trailing 4th-ranked Lindsey Wilson in the NAIA Game of the Week, 21-7 here on Stretch.
Here's how this will work. You'll watch this commercial, then look up Georgetown College. No, not that one, a Christian college in Kentucky. You'll be impressed with the school and your scholarship. You'll watch GC win yet another national championship with lifelong friends. You'll attend Oxford University. You'll take a class with that professor who blows your mind. You'll find your major and your career. You'll get internships and graduate, and your Georgetown degree will get you that first job or into grad school. You'll remember this as the moment that shaped your life. You're welcome. Think different. Think GC. Apply now at georgetowncollege.edu.
It's not about classes just being harder. It's always about depth in a subject matter.
We take all the excellent work that you've already done as a student wherever you are, and then we supercharge it. We send you off to Oxford University where you work one-on-one with an Oxford professor. You come back with an entire worldview.
What Georgetown College does exceptionally well is it gives students the opportunity to have an extraordinary research experience either here or any place else in the country.
Last summer I got to participate in research at Marshall University, and it was a super cool experience.
This is like the main research I've done in college, and this is pretty much what's gonna get me to grad school.
One of my favorite things about the honors program is that it really does feel like a family. You just have these bonds with each other that are unbreakable.
Part of that care for you, however, is to try to urge you towards the highest skills and virtues that you've got to offer.
Let's talk numbers. 1. That's our ranking in Kentucky for the difference we make in our students' future earnings. 3. That's the number of years in a row we've been ranked as best in Kentucky for students getting their first job or into graduate school. 100. That's the percentage of fully qualified students from our pre-med program who get accepted into medical school. 30. That's the number of seconds it just took to change your life. Think different. Think GC. Apply for free at georgetowncollege.edu.
I wanted to make sure I went to a college that could help me grow in my faith. Georgetown just encourages me.
I've just learned to accept that we have different beliefs and we may believe different things within Christianity, but we all come together.
When I came here and got to know the staff and faculty, I just felt like it was very personal.
Ever since I have been here, I have grown closer to God. It has allowed me to grow further in my faith.
When I was looking at Georgetown College, I found that they had a Christian Scholars Program that kind of focused on vocation and a person's calling.
Two things that have made it incredibly important throughout its history is its commitment to academics and its commitment to be faith-filled and help nurture this Christian identity.
The way they see their role in the world is greatly transformed from being a Christian to doing something as Christ would do for the world around them.
Here's how this will work.
We're at halftime here at Toyota Stadium. Lindsey Wilson leading Georgetown at the break in the NAIA Game of the Week by a score of 21-7. Let's take a look at first of all, the halftime scoring. All the stats coming here in just a moment. Lindsey Wilson takes its opening drive, 91 yards. They only need 9 plays to do it. Cameron Dukes connects to Terrell Cole from 16 yards out. The Ian Sauter kick is good to give Lindsey Wilson a 7-0 lead. Georgetown answers right back. 7 plays, 76-yard drive. Darius Barber with the capper from 1 yard out. Chris Klein followed the extra point. We're tied at 7. Late in the first quarter, Lindsey Wilson answers again. Offense ruled the day in the first quarter. Neither team punted in that first quarter. Cameron Dukes on a 2-yard run on 4th and goal. Caps off an 11-play, 63-yard drive. Took 5 minutes and 9 seconds off the clock. Lindsey Wilson leads 14-7. And then disaster strikes for Georgetown. Under 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. The Tigers punting the ball away, and a bad snap went well over the head of Georgetown punter Webb Bates. And instead of trying to fall on the football, Bates tried to pick it up, overran it, and Latrell Streeter, a starting linebacker for Lindsey Wilson, picked the ball up and carried it in from 15 yards out to give Lindsey Wilson its current lead of 21-7. Total yardage in the first half actually favors Georgetown, 196 to 176. Now, the play by Webb Bates, a major factor in the yardage there, too, because officially in this game, Georgetown has run the ball 13 times for minus 26 yards. Hunter Krause has also been sacked a couple of times. That's factored in to the play as well. The Georgetown running game, outside of those sacks, has struggled to get going once again. Isaiah Cobb, 3 carries for 8 yards. Xavier Abernathy, 3 carries for 7. That's really it outside of the 1-yard run from Darius Barber for Georgetown's lone touchdown. Hunter Krause in the first half, 13 of 20 for 177. He was sacked officially twice in the half, had a long of 43 yards. That went to Jake Johnson. Zach Dampier saw one full series and had to finish the final series of the half after Hunter Krause took a hit and went out. Dampier in the first half, 6 of 10 for 45. Darius Barber leads the way in receiving for Georgetown, 6 catches, 66 yards. Aaron Maggard, 5 catches for 40. Jake Johnson, 4 for 71, and Noah Kramer, 2 for 27. The big play Georgetown would love to have back there in that second quarter was Noah Kramer streaking down the hash mark on what would have been an easy 80-yard touchdown pass, and Hunter Krause's pass was nowhere near the mark as Kramer was 8 yards behind the defense. But Krause's accuracy wasn't there on that play. Peyton Standifer leads away in the first half, 5.5 tackles. Rob Sheffield, 5 tackles. Marcus Amasule, 3 tackles, along with a sack. Devon Starks with 2 tackles. On the other side for Lindsey Wilson, Cameron Dukes got off to a hot start. Still not bad numbers in the first half for the Blue Raiders signal caller. 7 of 11 passing for 126 and a score. with a long of 50. He was sacked 3 times in that half. He also ran the ball 7 times for 10 yards. And Lindsey Wilson's lone touchdown on the ground. Jalen Boyd, 7 carries for 28 yards. Terrell Cole, nice first half for him, particularly in that first quarter. 4 catches for 104 yards and a touchdown, a long of 50. That came on the opening drive of the game. Really put up Lindsey Wilson in business. Demetrius Patterson with 2 catches for 10. Jaleel Warren with 1 for 12. Luke Bowman leads the way for Lindsey Wilson defensively. 5.5 tackles. He did have half a sack, as did Latrell Streeter, who also had that touchdown for Lindsey Wilson near the end of the first half. He also has 3.5 total tackles. TJ James, 4 tackles for the Blue Raiders. D'Angelo Barrios with 3 tackles and has made a couple of really nice plays in the backfield overall in the ball game. 4 penalties for 45 yards in the first half for Georgetown. A couple of those personal foul penalties coming on punts. Lindsey Wilson just 1 penalty for 9 yards. Georgetown, much better job on third down in this game. Tigers 5 of 10 on third down. We're only at 27% through the first 2 weeks, but much better to hear today. Lindsey Wilson 3 of 7. Fourth down conversions. Lindsey Wilson 1 for 1, and Georgetown 0 for 3 thus far. So Georgetown, after a slow start offensively, really hanging in there because of their defense. Lindsey Wilson came today averaging 47 points per game and just under 400 yards per game on offense. So far in this one, just 176 in total for Lindsey Wilson. And in fact, just 22 yards offense in the second quarter for the Blue Raiders. The Tigers really settled down on the defensive end, but have to start finding ways to put the ball into the end zone. Georgetown turned it over twice on downs in that first half. That and that botched play on special teams, a big reason why we are where we are at the break. This is the NAIA game of the week. 4th-ranked Lindsey Wilson leads 19th-ranked Georgetown here at Toyota Stadium by a score of 21-7 at the half here on Stretch. It's a busy time around here in Georgetown, Kentucky. Of course, the football season being moved back to the spring, and as that is the case, other sports going on right now. In fact, just behind us here at Toyota Stadium, the baseball team is in action, taking on IU South Bend in a doubleheader. Game 1 just completed, and the Tigers win Game 1 of that one by a final of 9-4. They are in the second inning of Game number 2, IU South Bend with a 1-0 lead there. Nevertheless, good to see a busy and active athletic season here for Georgetown College. Of course, being able to get through the winter sports season. Still some work to be done in the winter sports season, particularly for the Georgetown men's basketball team. They just learned last night of their postseason destination. They will head next week to Montgomery, Alabama for the opening 2 rounds of the NAIA men's basketball tournament. They'll take on Kaiser in round 1. And should Georgetown win that one, they would advance to the second round to take on the top seed in that pod, Stillman College. And those games will take place next Friday and Saturday. And we will not be down there with the team in Alabama. Streaming should be available there through the Faulkner University website, as they are the host school for that pod of the NAIA men's tournament. Should Georgetown make it back to Kansas City, we'll be there to cover all of the action for you in Kansas City. Looking forward to that, assuming the Tigers are able to take care of business in the opening 2 rounds of the NAIA men's basketball tournament. But we'll be here next Friday for more Georgetown football live here on Stretch, as it'll be a Tiger fight in Campbellsville comes to town against Georgetown. Well, the Tigers still have work here to do in this one, as Lindsey Wilson leads this football game by a score of 21-7. We'll see who goes back out at quarterback for Georgetown to start this third quarter. And the Tigers, the first 2 games had been splitting time between Hunter Krause and Zach Dampier. I think really just trying to give one of them the opportunity to take the job. Krause has gotten the majority of the snaps thus far on the season. Dampier got one full series, scheduled series in the first half, and then had to finish the series to end the first half after Krause got shaken up a little bit. So the 2 of them combined in the first half, 19 out of 30 passing for 222 yards. No touchdowns. Darius Barber has the lone score for Georgetown. That came on the ground. Georgetown will get the ball to start here in the second half. Trying to go to a 3-0 start. Port Campbellsville comes to town next week. Lindsey Wilson on the road next week for the second straight time. They will go to Cumberland University, who Georgetown just beat a week ago by a score of 19-7. Seen a few Georgetown fans have actually moved over to the Lindsey Wilson, behind the Lindsey Wilson bench, I think just to try to get into the little bit of a sun and try and warm up here a little bit, as the temperatures have been in the low to mid 40s here today at Toyota Stadium. There has been a pretty steady wind, and where you're watching us right now, really blowing from left to right. It's been off and on, but picked up some, dropped off, and now it's back on again. So I think some of the fans just trying to get into a little bit of sunlight here to help keep themselves warm. Hopefully their fans move to that side. Maybe they figure they can change a little bit of luck here and bring some luck here and extra luck to Georgetown as we start the third quarter. Isaiah and Bryson Cobb will await the kick of Ian Sauter. He'll tee it up from the near side hash this time, and this time he will once again be kicking into a wind, as right as he's about ready to tow it up here, the wind is picking up again. We'll see how far Sauter's able to navigate this ball into that wind as it continues to swirl. Third quarter underway in the NAIA National Game of the Week, as that ball sky high, and Isaiah Cobb catches it at the 13-yard line and out across the 25. He'll be brought down just shy of the 27-yard line, and that's where Georgetown begins its first drive of the half. It's really been around that point that Georgetown started every drive. Remember, they had one series back up due to a personal foul penalty on punt coverage. Started inside the 15-yard line, as a matter of fact. But really right around between the 25 and 30 is where Georgetown started every drive thus far in the game. Hunter Kraus is back in as the signal caller for Georgetown. He'll have Xavier Abernathy behind, and now to the left in the gun. Kraus looking left the whole way, into the middle. Wide open as Aaron Maggard just sat down at the first down stick, I should say, and no blue helmet within 5 yards of him. An easy pitch and catch for a first down and a gain of 16 on the opening play as Maggard has his 6th catch of the day. 6 catches, now 56 yards for the junior out of Paris, Kentucky. Abernathy gets the carry left side. Not much doing there. He'll use his size to fall forward just across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Abernathy, a big fella, 6 foot, 220 pounds, helping move the pile just a bit. But the Georgetown ground game still continues to struggle. It'll be 2nd and 7 at the 46-yard line. Noah Kramer lined up to the top side here. Safety out there playing in toward the middle. That's Keyshawn Beasley. Kraus going to go into the middle. Aaron Maggard once again there. Uses the momentum, falls forward, has a first down as he broke the initial tackle of Peyton Doles. And his momentum carried him toward where he needed to go. And it winds up as another first down for Georgetown to the Lindsey Wilson 46-yard line. Very simple and easy passes to complete for Hunter Kraus to Aaron Maggard here in this series. And sometimes that's all you need early on, especially coming out of a break, and especially after Kraus couldn't finish that final series of the first half. Gets a couple of easy ones to have him ease back into the game. 2 backs in the backfield. Left goes in motion to the top side, and Kraus throwing all the way. Pressure coming from that left side. Kraus, good job to spin out of it. Still looking for options, going to take off and run this time. Gets a good block from Brandon Leff, and Hunter Kraus will gain about 6 out to the 40-yard line. Good job by Kraus to not only spin out of the initial pursuit, but then call out a block to Brandon Leff outside to give him a few extra yards. It winds up as a gain of 6 to the Lindsey Wilson 40-yard line. And Kraus showing some good mobility here in this game. Georgetown's used a couple of design runs here in the first half. Kind of got away from it as the second quarter went along, but Kraus showing some mobility. Abernathy getting the carry, and that is stuffed in the backfield all the way. Broke one tackle, broke a second, and Abernathy does a nice job just to have that result in a loss of 1, as Lindsey Wilson had that blown up from the get-go, and now a Blue Raider is down on the play. And that looks like it's TJ James, the starting safety for the Blue Raiders, who came down and made the initial pursuit on Abernathy. But still, Lindsey Wilson selling out on that play. Good to see James able to get up here, able to hop off under his own power, which is an even better sign. So hopefully nothing too serious, and he can get back into the game. He's a key part of that Lindsey Wilson secondary. So a loss of 1 makes it 3rd and 5 from the 41-yard line. Georgetown 50% on 3rd down in the game, 5 out of 10. It'll be their first try here in the 3rd quarter, trailing 21-7. Abernathy shifts to the left as the Lindsey Wilson linebackers showing pressure. Here they come. 6 coming here. Kraus going to throw it to the near side and nowhere in the area of Johnson. And that ball flag's going to be thrown on Robert Carter. I'm not sure if this ball was catchable. Carter and Johnson were tangled up from the get-go, and it was a straight jump ball that sailed well over the head of both Johnson and Carter. But I think Georgetown's going to get a break here. Robert Carter will get called indeed for PI. And so that'll be an automatic first down for Georgetown. A lot of contact between the two. My only concern there for Georgetown was would the official deem that ball catchable, and indeed he did. And so the field judge rules in Georgetown's favor. It'll be a first down at the Lindsey Wilson 29-yard line. 3 receivers to the left, now 2 go in motion to that left side. Johnson alone on the near side once again with Carter. Kraus to throw. Over the middle, wide open is Brandon Leff. He is popped twice inside the 7-yard line, and he is down, and so is Latrell Streeter. Leff got hit from both the left and the right side. Risey caught the ball. A really good job by Brandon Leff to hang on to it as he absorbed the contact from both sides, but pays for it on the back end as he was slow on the field to get up, moving his arms, so that's the first thing you can tell. It's a good sign for him, but being tended to by the Georgetown training staff here, and he's able to get up on his own power, and that's a good sign here too. Took a vicious 1-2 combo. Another really good ball, though, from Hunter Kraus in the middle of the field will set up Georgetown with 1st and goal from the 7-yard line, and Brandon Leff showing his toughness. These slot receivers from Georgetown have been big keys in the game here today, and Brandon Leff will go under the tent to be further evaluated. Aaron Maggard will take his place here on 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Isaiah Cobb in the backfield alongside Hunter Kraus. Kraus looking to throw all the way into the middle and nearly pulled in by Maggard. His right arm was being grabbed the entire way by Ty Tevis and nothing called. The back judge right there and does not pull the flag out, so Lindsey Wilson catches a break. Hard to make a catch there when one of your arms are being held down against you. But Ty Tevis gets away with one, so it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 7, as Maggard only had his left arm available to him to try to pull that ball in, and what was a pretty good ball from Kraus. Put it in a good spot. Malachi Rogan showing pressure on the near side for Lindsey Wilson. Here he comes. That ball easily batted out at the line of scrimmage as Bowman swatted that down like a volleyball player, as Kraus really telegraphed where he was going with that, and it becomes 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line. 11:38 to go in the 3rd, and still a 2-touchdown deficit for the Tigers. Cade Mullins checks into the game. Now he'll be tight end. Noah Kramer for Georgetown heads out. Kramer had a really nice first quarter. He's been quiet ever since. Now he'll watch this 3rd down from the sideline. 3rd and goal from the 7. Maggard in motion. Kraus with the play fake. Into the middle, intercepted. Threw into double coverage, and Michael Leslie down the left sideline. Abernathy trying to get there, and he'll be tackled at midfield. Another poor decision there from Hunter Kraus as he telegraphed the throw the entire way, and Leslie stepped right in front for an easy interception. I'm not sure what Hunter Kraus saw on that play, but there were 2 blue helmets there waiting on that ball to arrive, and Michael Leslie not only secured the pick, but got the ball out to midfield. A critical turnover for Georgetown as they were on the precipice. And now Lindsey Wilson will operate from midfield with a 2-touchdown lead. Dukes with time, now rolls. Out wide and way over the top of his intended target on the play, Terrell Cole. Dukes' first pass of the half, so he's now 7 of 12 for 126. Almost a must-stop situation here for the Georgetown defense to keep the Tigers in the game. Draw up the middle to Boyd. Flag on the play on the far side as Boyd crossed the 45 to the 44-yard line. We'll see if the play stands. It's an illegal formation call against the Blue Raiders, so their 3rd penalty of the game. Too many men in the backfield, so 3 penalties for 29 for Lindsey Wilson now. So a break there for Georgetown. It wipes out a 6-yard gain and instead makes it 2nd and 15. Just under 4 minutes into this third quarter, Lindsey Wilson with momentum. See if Georgetown here can force a punt. Dukes on the roll, nowhere to go with it. Pressure coming the entire way, and Dukes will throw it away. He was trying to roll it to the right, but he was met by Sander Roxvag out on that far side and had to put on the brakes and eventually tossed it away. And so it'll make it 3rd and 15. Lindsey Wilson 3 of 7 on 3rd down in the game. They had 2 big conversions on 3rd down on their 2 touchdown drives in the first half, in the first quarter, I should say, but really not much since. Pressure coming. Dukes hit by Colin Smith, but he gets it out wide to Lewis, and he'll be slung out of bounds by Bethel at the 41-yard line. It'll be a yard shy of the line to gain. Really good tackle by Zion Bethel to make it 4th and 1, and I don't think there's really a decision to be made here. Lindsey Wilson will keep its offense on the field. 14-yard completion from Dukes to Lewis. The Blue Raiders 1-on-1 on 4th down in the game. They need just 1 yard to keep the drive going. Dukes all the way on the quarterback draw, and I think he should have the first down just across the 40-yard line. Second time, Dukes has called his own number on 4th down and short, and he will indeed move the chains for the Blue Raiders. Georgetown fan contingent doesn't like that, but I think that initial surge from Dukes that kept the legs churning wound up being the difference on the play. Clear first down there. As you see, the officials don't even bother with a measurement there, and that's a good call. So the second 4th down conversion on the ground for Cameron Dukes keeps the drive alive. Screen coming up out to the far side. Boyd with it. Boyd with space out across the 30. First down. He'll go out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Really the first time we've seen Boyd involved in the passing game here today. That's his 8th catch of the season. And that one goes for 15 yards. He'll line up in the backfield alongside Dukes. Dukes looking left side. Lewis out there, but he's covered. Bullet back this side. Cole has it. And he is brought down by Bethel just outside the 20-yard line. Gain of about 4 to make it 2nd and 6. Bethel's been a busy guy out wide today for Georgetown. Was working on the left side previously, now out on the right. Zayday Jones-Wilson now in the near side corner, but comes in on the line as Lewis goes in motion. They'll hand off to Boyd right side, and Boyd really wrestled down with one arm by a Georgetown defender there for a gain of a couple. They'll move it inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line, so it'll make it 3rd and 3. Blue Raiders 3 of 8 on 3rd down. But in either case, this is unquestionably 2-down territory for this offense. Boyd catches that push pass and won't need a second down. Boyd inside the 10 and ducks out of bounds at the 8-yard line. He has had success on that play for most of the day today, just a catch and a shovel pass from Dukes to Boyd, and it's 1st and goal for the Blue Raiders. Needed 3, they got 10. And so now they'll line up with 3 receivers on the right side, Lewis to the near side. Watch for Jaleel Warren, the tight end, to the near side slot. Darius Clark now into the backfield for Boyd. Dukes near side wants the lob to Lewis, and he pulls it down for the touchdown. Pretty easy pitch and catch there as Bethel couldn't get his head around in time. And Lindsey Wilson does what good teams do. They take advantage of the opponent's mistakes, and a Hunter Krause interception on one goal line leads to a touchdown for Lindsey Wilson on the other. And they're an Ian Souter extra point away from a 3-touchdown lead. 50-yard drive for the Blue Raiders, picking up that 4th down conversion, getting a 3rd down conversion on the previous play from Cobb, and then Dukes finds Josh Lewis. 2nd touchdown of the season for Lewis. 8:03 to go in the 3rd quarter, and all of a sudden, Georgetown is in a world of trouble as it winds up being a potential 14-point swing, and now it's a 28-7 lead for Lindsey Wilson here on stretch. Once again, Georgetown's inability to finish drives costs them as the Tigers turned it over twice on 4th down in the first half, and now here in the 3rd quarter on the precipice of putting it in the end zone, Hunter Kraus throws an interception, and Lindsey Wilson makes the Tigers pay as they put together a 50-yard drive, and Cameron Dukes has his 2nd throwing touchdown of the day. This one went to Josh Lewis, and now a 21-point Lindsey Wilson lead with 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Isaiah Cobb will field the kickoff at his own 2-yard line. Georgetown needs some kind of spark. It won't happen here on the kickoff return as Lindsey Wilson's coverage is good, and Cobb is brought down at the 23-yard line. Hunter Kraus will lead the Georgetown offense back on to the field, looking to rectify that interception on the previous drive. He'll start this play in the pistol with Isaiah Cobb behind. Throwing all the way, here is Will Thomas. He is stuck right at the point of the reception, but is able to force his way out just across the 30 to the 31-yard line. First reception of the season for Thomas, a senior out of Middletown, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. Thomas will line up on the near side again against Carter. And Jake Johnson not in on this sequence as Tamir Jones is lined up to the top side. Aaron Maggard in motion, the Sun now occupying the top half of the field. Kraus on the screen to Isaiah Cobb. Cobb has a 1st down out across the 35 to the 37-yard line. First time, really, Georgetown's been able to execute that screen pass here in the game.
Number 2 on Isaiah Cobb on the receiving end of the Hunter Kraus pass. Tackled by number 34 for the Blue Raiders,
Marcellus Campbell came on the stop, but again, not before a Georgetown 1st down. Tigers got to come away with some points on this drive. They're going to try and get back into it. Flag on the near side as that ball is caught by Tamir Jones on the far side. As it stands, it would be another Georgetown 1st down as Jones is brought in at the 48-yard line. I think we're going to have a sideline warning here against Georgetown.
Sideline warning on Georgetown. Their first official sideline warning.
So just a warning here, as you always get. Some fans down below not too pleased with that, thinking the field judge who threw that flag there wasn't watching the field of play. But you can't get too close to the lines there. You really got to stay behind the white chalk down along the sideline. If you get too close to that, you'll get warned, and the second time results in a penalty. So the play does stand. Tamir Jones with the catch. The ball sits at the Georgetown 48-yard line, 6:25 to go in the 3rd. And Kraus just does get the pass off and throws a bad ball to Bryson Cobb as he just fired it right at Cobb's feet, and Cobb couldn't handle it there. No fault of Cobb's, just a bad pass from Kraus off the hand. And that has been the the challenge for Kraus over the years. The accuracy has been a struggle for him at times. When he's locked in, he's as good as any quarterback in the Mid-South Conference. But you've seen it here today, both the good and the bad from Hunter Kraus. Cobb gets a carry, breaks through the line. Isaiah Cobb on the near side into Lindsey Wilson territory across the 40 to the 39-yard line. It'll be a gain of 13 on the play, the longest of the season for Isaiah Cobb. And good to see Georgetown able to get a first down there on the ground, as the Tigers have been almost exclusively throwing the ball in the game. The Tigers have thrown 40 passes compared to officially 23 runs. Hunter Kraus with it. He's thrown 30 balls today, make it 31. Matt Barber somehow caught that one. Darius Barber down the far sideline inside the 30 and down at the Lindsey Wilson 27-yard line. Plays like that, really just an extension of the running game, but Darius Barber continues to have himself a nice day. That is now 7 catches on the day for Barber for 78. The ball nearly swatted down at the line of scrimmage. Bryson Cobb in the pistol, now shifts to the right of Hunter Kraus, 3 receivers right. Kraus again, throwing all day, wants the double move, now into the middle, and couldn't quite get that one as Barber was really trying to put on the brakes there as he felt the pressure of Darius Hylett coming from behind, and it's incomplete. Kraus now 20 out of 32 for 258 yards with that 1 interception. 5:10 to go in the third. And the Tigers needing points here on this drive, trailing 28-7. They've been able to move the ball very well between the 20s, if you will, in the game. Tigers averaging nearly 5 yards of play, actually more than 5 yards of play. Actually have outgained Lindsey Wilson in the game. Here's Bryson Cobb. Nice run up to the 20-yard line, gain of 7.
Number 25 for the Tigers, Bryson Cobb on the carry. Tackle by number 40, Darius Hylett for the Blue Raiders.
You go back to the start of the second quarter, the Georgetown defense has allowed just 55 yards to the Lindsey Wilson offense, and of course 50 of it came on that touchdown drive here to begin the third quarter. Lindsey Wilson just 231 yards on the day. Georgetown now over 300, but the Tigers trailing by 3 scores. Third down, Kraus into the middle and knocked away as Johnson had pressure from behind by Cordarian Trice, and it's incomplete. It'll be 4th and 3 from the 20-yard line, and Georgetown will go for it here on 4th down. The Tigers 0 for 3, I should say, on 4th down, looking to avoid it being 0 for 4. This would be a killer if they can't convert here once again. Kraus, quarterback drawn, trying to sneak it through there, and not going to get it. Looked like it was going to be a draw, then Kraus tried to pull it back like he was going to throw, and then tried to take off again. And once again, Georgetown turns the ball over on downs. And there you see what I was talking about before. The ability to move the ball between the 20s has been just fine. It's been downfield execution that has done the Tigers in here in this game as they turn the ball over at the Lindsey Wilson 18-yard line with 4 minutes and 21 seconds to go in the third quarter. Here, Lindsey Wilson could really put themselves in good position if they could take advantage of this and put some more points on the board. Dukes, plenty of time. Bad ball to the near side. He was looking for Logan Collier on the out route, but threw it right into the turf. An efficient day thus far, although that throw wouldn't indicate that for Dukes. 11 of 18 for 167 and 2 scores. But the bulk of that came in the first quarter when Lindsey Wilson's offense was humming. This one will be caught out to the far side, missed tackle, and finally Colin Smith comes in to finish off Hunter Watkins. But not before Watkins gets to the 25-yard line. Watkins, a junior out of Paducah, transferred to Lindsey Wilson after spending some time at Tennessee Martin. Third down and 3 The Blue Raiders 4 of 9 on third down in the ball game. Georgetown's defense again being asked to get the ball back for its offense. Pressure coming. Dukes willing to stand in, trying to move forward, and he will not get there. DJ White and Chad Holleran have a meeting with Cameron Dukes as he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and so the Georgetown defense does its job, and Lindsey Wilson will have to punt, and Sauter will have to kick in to a win that's picking up once again, and should give Darius Barber a reasonable chance to do something with a return. Sauter has not had a good day kicking the ball. The majority of his kicks have been wobbling line drives and not giving his coverage team time to get down to cover Darius Barber. All around, Darius Barber has had a very nice game. Another low liner, but too low and too short for Barber to do anything with, and the Blue Raiders are going to get a very nice bounce as that ball will be touched down at the Georgetown 25-yard line. And so the offense for the Tigers right back on the field in another situation where you just feel like they have to put points on the board here as we're nearing the end of the third quarter. The Tigers have nearly 70 more yards offense than does Lindsey Wilson, have held the ball nearly 7 minutes longer in this game. But 0 for 4 on third down, and of course that special teams gaffe right before the half has been the difference in the game. The inability for the Tigers to execute in those critical situations. Isaiah Cobb gets the handoff in the pistol, and he'll fall forward to about the 30-yard line, call it a gain of 4 as they spotted the first down play at the 26. Fifth carry of the day for Isaiah Cobb for 25. He is the only Tiger in the game with more than 10 yards on the ground. Georgetown officially on the day, 19 carries for 4 yards. Kraus hands it off to Cobb once again, and Cobb able to get to about the 34-yard line, so a very manageable third down situation here. There's one big factor in the Georgetown lack of yardage, if you will, is Webb Bates on the botched punt was officially credited with a negative 28-yard run on the play. It was considered a fumble there by Bates. So that factors in. Third and a long 2 here for Georgetown. Kraus looking to throw near side. Has Maggard out there. Nearly had it knocked away on the play by Trice. But it'll be just enough for a first down. Kraus was looking left the whole time to Kramer. The option wasn't there. Found Maggard at the last second. Well, Trice was about a half second away from getting that left hand out there to knock that ball down. 1:15 to go in the third quarter. The other thing Georgetown's got to find a way to start doing here, too, is to start working the ball down the field. The short passing game has been there. They'll do it again here with the screen. Bryson Cobb out wide. Gets a good block out wide from Noah Kramer. And Cobb down the sideline, deep into Lindsey Wilson territory. He's out at the 30-yard line. What a block out wide by Noah Kramer as he just drove his man out there, Cordarian Trice, into the turf and sprung Cobb for a big, big gain on the play of 33 yards. That's the type of chunk play you need late in the third and trying to get back into the ball game. Well executed on all facets there for the Tigers offense. Now can you capitalize? Again, Georgetown's been able to move down into this area of the field against Lindsey Wilson all day. Toss pass out. Cobb able to bring it with one hand. That's Isaiah Cobb this time making moves. He's down to the 23-yard line. As Trice again, the target of the Georgetown defense or offense, and Trice couldn't come up with the tackle. That was a nice grab there by Cobb as he knew Trice was coming and was able to snatch it up with one hand. 2nd and 3 from the 23 on what will likely be the final play of the third quarter. High snap, and Kraus just goes down at the 29. Another issue with the snap this time as Dingle nearly fired that one over the head of Hunter Kraus. And the ball goes back to the 29-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 9, and that's how the third quarter ends. Really sums up how the day has gone offensively for Georgetown. They've been able to move the ball through the bulk of the field against Lindsey Wilson, but executing deep in Blue Raider territory has been the challenge, and the Tigers are going to have to find a solution if they're going to try and get back in this game and challenge the number 4 team in the country. We are at the end of 3 here at Toyota Stadium in the NAIA National Game of the Week. Lindsey Wilson leads Georgetown 28-7 on stretch.
Here's how this will work. You'll watch this commercial, then look up Georgetown College. No, not that one. A Christian college in Kentucky. You'll be impressed with the school and your scholarship. You'll watch GC win yet another national championship with lifelong friends. You'll attend Oxford University. You'll take a class with that.
Work one-on-one with an Oxford professor. You come back with an entire worldview.
What Georgetown College does exceptionally well is it gives students the opportunity to have an extraordinary research experience either here or any place else in the country.
Last summer I got to participate in research at Marshall University, and it was a super cool experience.
This is like the main research I've done in college, and this is pretty much what's going to get me to grad school.
One of my favorite things about the honors program is that it really does feel like a family. You just have these bonds with each other that are unbreakable.
Part of that care for you, however, is to try to urge you towards the highest skills and virtues that you've got to offer.
Pass out intended for its target out wide. That was Jake Johnson, incomplete there as Robert Carter in excellent coverage. So with that incompletion, it's now 4th down and 9 as Kraus took that shot out wide. The Tigers need the 20-yard line. Kraus rolling to the right as the pressure comes that way. The back throw, and it's not going to be there. Now they might be saying it's caught there. From my vantage point, that looked incomplete. I thought that one hop Bryson Cobb out to the far side. I don't know that he has the distance anyway to make the first down. He fell down right at the 20-yard line, but I thought that ball one hop there anyway. And in either case, they're saying Cobb did catch the ball but did not get the line to gain. So once again, Georgetown turns the ball over on downs. The Tigers now 0 for 5 on 3rd down. Play was there. Kraus just could not get enough mustard on the throw. 0 for 5 on 3rd down in a game. Georgetown has outgained Lindsey Wilson 360 to 238. And yet the Tigers with just 7 points on the board. Hand off to the left side. That's Clark trying to work on that left side. Lindsey Wilson has just 84 yards of offense since the start of the second quarter, and yet have grown their lead from 7 out to 21 because they've been able to take advantage of Georgetown mistakes. Lindsey Wilson's end zone execution and red zone execution has been just fine. Duke's over the middle. Wide open down the seam is Kane Yates, the sophomore tight end, and the big fella rumbling inside the 20, and he has Lindsey Wilson in business once again. A beautiful play call as Kane Yates, the sophomore out of Coleman, Alabama, pulls one in for a monster gain. He will set Lindsey Wilson up at the 11-yard line, a gain of 67 on the play. By far the biggest play of the day for either side. A perfectly timed call As we've got a stoppage here, the chain crew's got to catch up there as Yates was so quick down there on the field. But it can happen just that quickly with this offense for Lindsey Wilson. And now the Blue Raiders 11 yards away from the potential knockout blow against Georgetown. Nobody picked up Yates on the play at all. It's his first catch of the season. Dukes makes an adjustment as the clock rolls, 13:35 to go. He has that's Clark in the backfield. Clark inside the 10, inside the 5. The little fella showing some strength as he has it down to the 1, just pinballing off of players. A gain of 10, and Lindsey Wilson wants to go ahead and go and try and punch this thing in. Duke hands off to Clark. Nowhere to go that time. DJ White and Colin Smith say no. It'll be a loss of about 2.5. It'll make it 2nd and goal from just outside the 3-yard line. In another situation where the Georgetown defense, who by and large has not played bad at all today, they've kept the Tigers from being down by far worse than this. But they give up the chunk play to Kane Yates to put the ball down here in the red zone for Lindsey Wilson. 2nd and goal from the 3. That is Corey Clems in motion to the near side as they go heavy up front once again. Clark trying to bounce it out wide and eludes off of one. The ball came out, but they will say Clark broke the plane for the touchdown. Zion Bethel was the one that stripped it loose. He doesn't agree with the call. But the official on the far side says Clark got the point of the football over the end line. And it is a touchdown for Lindsey Wilson. Difficult to tell from our vantage point, and really the Georgetown staff not in much argument there. Again, they didn't have a really good angle at it either. Nice, good effort by Bethel to try and strip that loose. It's about all you can do in that situation. But Clark had just broken the play, and it's his 2nd touchdown of the season. And Sauter on for the extra point. A low line drive this time, and still, though, is up and good. So once again, Georgetown turns the ball over on downs, and once again, the Blue Raiders make the Tigers pay for it. 12:33 to go in the ball game. It is all Lindsey Wilson as they lead Georgetown here at Toyota Stadium, 35-7 on stretch. Darius Clark from 3 yards out adds to the Lindsey Wilson lead as the Tigers once again give the ball up on downs. Georgetown now 0 for 5 on 3rd down. You have the Hunter Krause interception in the end zone and the botched snap before the halftime break, and this margin is where it is because of that as the ball falls off the tee. But make no mistake, by and large, outside of the first quarter, this has been a game which Georgetown's issues have all been self-inflicted. They've been able to move the ball up and down the field offensively. Defense has played pretty well, keeping Lindsey Wilson in check outside of that first quarter. The Tigers made their adjustments, and Lindsey Wilson has not looked that crisp offensively. They called a perfect play at the perfect time with that pass to Kane Yates as the ball goes out over the sideline, so that'll be a break for Georgetown as the ball will come out after the kick out of bounds. This is a game the Tigers are going to look back and look at the film of this and wonder what could have been and where things could have been had it not been for the mistakes. Ball comes out to the 35-yard line. It'll be Zach Dampier in at quarterback. The first time we've seen him here in this second half. In the first half, he was 6 of 10 for 45 yards. We've got another stoppage here before this play happens, as they need to move the ball to the right hash as the ball went out on the right sideline. Sam Diggle set to snap it to Zach Dampier, who's in the pistol on this first down play. With Georgetown trailing 35-7. The delayed draw, Bryson Cobb able to fall forward across the 35 out to the 38-yard line for a gain of 3. Just the second carry of the day for Cobb for 10 yards. Georgetown right now officially on the day, 23 carries, just 9 yards. And, of course, don't forget, in college, sacks are counted as rushing yards, and Georgetown's taken a couple of sacks on the day. Also, that punt issue with Webb Bates, that was counted as a rush, too. Dampier, time to throw, nowhere to go with it. Now downfield, and it is caught out on the far sideline in Lindsey Wilson territory by Darius Barber once again. That is his 8th grab of the day as he gets out to the 42-yard line of Lindsey Wilson for a gain of 20. So 8 catches for 98 yards today for Darius Barber. No matter the result, he has proven himself early in the season to be a very reliable weapon in the slot. That's now his 21st catch of the season in not quite 3 full games. Dampier looking out wide, and that ball was shorted out there to Will Thomas. And they'll say he caught that one. I don't know how, as that ball looked like it died as it arrived to its target. But they will give Thomas the credit there. That is his 2nd catch of the day. Gain of 5. So 2 for 13 for Will Thomas. Now under 11 minutes to play here at Toyota Stadium. Isaiah Cobb shifts behind Dampier, who has 4 wide receivers. Pressure coming from the Blue Raiders. Dampier wants it all down the left sideline. Jones is out there. Tamir Jones, touchdown, Georgetown. He beat Marcellus Campbell inside, and Georgetown showing a bit of life now with 10:36 to go in the ball game as Dampier finds Jones from 37 yards out. Second catch of the day and the season for Tamir Jones. His first touchdown in a Tiger uniform. And now Chris Klein on for the extra point. Said in the last drive, Georgetown needed some chunk plays. There's one right there as Zach Dampier comes in and hits Tamir Jones from 37 yards out. Georgetown not done yet. Still some work to do as they'll give the ball back to Lindsey Wilson with 10 minutes and 36 seconds to go, trailing 35-14 on stretch. No threat of rain in the sky here in Toyota Stadium, so somebody has decided to take advantage of it with a little stroll up there attached to the parachute. Interesting way to spend a Friday. We're glad you're spending some of your Friday here at Toyota Stadium as Georgetown has scored to make it a 35-14 Lindsey Wilson game, and now the Tigers will try the pooch kick, but the fair catch is signaled for by T.J. James at the Blue Raider 35-yard line. So Zach Dampier does a nice job in off the bench in that series for Hunter Krause. Connects with Tamir Jones for the 37-yard touchdown to at least keep Georgetown afloat in the game. And now the Tigers are going to have to rely on their defense to get the ball back. And if you were ever going to get a turnover, this would be the possession to do it. We'll see here what Lindsey Wilson has in store for Georgetown after the last drive. Dukes hands it off up the center, and Boyd trying to push the way and does a good job to keep the legs churning. He'll pick up 5 out to the 40-yard line as Colin Smith and Sander Roxvag in on the stop for the Tigers, but still a gain of 5 for Boyd. Pretty quiet day thus far for Jalen Boyd. 10 carries, just 46 yards. He only has 1 catch on the day for 15. Had over 1,800 all-purpose yards a year ago, but not much of a factor here in this one. Still plenty of time, though. 10 minutes left. He can get it going as quickly as anybody. And now, of course, Lindsey Wilson, no surprise here to see with a 3-touchdown lead. They're going to work a little bit more of the play clock here. A lot of dummy signals being thrown in from the sideline. Dukes, plenty of time, moving forward, and he's brought down in the backfield. Loss of a couple on the play. Marcus Asamule and also Chad Holleran in on the stop of Dukes. It'll make it 3rd and 7 on the play. Marcus Amasule, nice play there. As Lindsey Wilson will now have a 3rd down. They are 4 for 10 on 3rd down. See if Georgetown can get a little pressure here on Dukes. Warren goes in motion. A little extra block on the top side. Dukes, nowhere to go with it. Going to fire it to the near side into the Georgetown bench. So the Tigers do their job defensively. They'll force a Lindsey Wilson 3-and-out. We saw a crazy comeback in the regular season finale of the 2019 season. Our last football broadcast here on Stretch when Georgetown came back from a 35-7. Second half deficit against Cumberland to win that game 42-35. A lot less time to work with, though, here in this one if the Tigers are going to try and do the same thing. Just 8:57 remaining in the game. Sauter will stand at his own 25 to punt it away to Barber, who's towing back at his own 20. Another bad kick from Sauter, but he's going to get a bounce, but it'll go right to the chest of Barber. Darius Barber to the right side, out across the 30, 35, and steps out just shy of the 40-yard line. Smart play by Barber to go ahead and pick that one up. If he doesn't, that likely tails inside the 10-yard line. Instead, Barber turns it into a return of 19, so decent field position here for Georgetown, but the Tigers are going to have to work quickly as the clock is working against them. Just 8:46 to go in the 4th quarter. It'll be Zach Dampier back on the field. No surprise there after he led Georgetown right down the field on the last drive, eventually connecting to Tamir Jones with a 37-yard score. Tamir Jones not in on this first down play. Noah Kramer is on the near side working against Campbell. Swing pass out wide to Isaiah Cobb. Cobb, not much space there, out across the 40. Gains a couple before being knocked out of bounds by Shea Martin. Give him a gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7. Dampier now 10 of 14 for 110 and that score. Bryson Cobb in the backfield in motion. Now Dampier fakes that, going to run it near side, and Dampier, sneaky movement, will bring Georgetown within a yard of the first down on that near side. Very cautious, you could tell Dampier was on that play. Didn't want to risk a hit, potentially losing that ball, so took his time, got what he could, and got down. Very manageable 3rd down and 1 here for Georgetown. Tigers 6 of 14 on 3rd down on the day, but just 1 of 4 here in the second half. Bryson Cobb, Darius Barber in the backfield. Zach Dampier calls his own number, and see the spot here. Looks like he's got enough for the first down, and indeed he will. And before the next play can be had, we've got an injured player on the field. That's Latrell Streeter for Lindsey Wilson. He, of course, had the fumble recovery on the punt that resulted in a touchdown late in the first half for Lindsey Wilson. And he's a little slow to get up here. A lot of bodies in that play around the Dampier sneak to try to pick up the first down, which he eventually did. Much better job here on third down in this game compared to the first 2 weeks for Georgetown. That's the 7th third down conversion of the day for Georgetown on 15 tries. Tigers just 26% in their first 2 games. Streeter able to walk off the field under his own power. 7 minutes and 38 seconds to go. Georgetown a yard shy of midfield, but still trailing by 3 scores. And again here, you need to start picking up some chunk yardage. You can't afford to just take your time going down the field with the short passes. Got to eventually start taking chances down the field. Dampier on the double move. He wants Jake Johnson down the field. Johnson skies for it and brings it down at the 20-yard line. That is a Jake Johnson catch to a T on another beautiful ball from Dampier. It turns into a gain of 31 on the play and puts Jake Johnson over 100 on the day. Pretty simple concept there for Dampier. Throw it up and let number 9 go get it. Johnson's 5th grab. He's now at 102. From the 20, Georgetown operates. Delayed draw to Bryson Cobb. Nowhere to go as, again, Lindsey Wilson bringing heat. Shea Martin came in off the outside linebacker spot and brought Cobb down to the backfield for a loss of 3. Georgetown trying to catch Lindsey Wilson in almost a prevent type defense there, but credit to the Blue Raiders. They continue to keep bringing pressure there. I like that play call there from defensive coordinator Phil Kleckler. So now it's 2nd and 13 for Georgetown. Can't have negative plays this late in the game, trying to rally from now a 3-touchdown deficit. Dampier has time into the middle. Ball a bit behind Aaron Maggard, but really stuck on that right bicep. And he pulls it in at the 16 to make it a gain of 7, so to make it 3rd down and 6. Lindsey Wilson rotates 4 new defenders in. Dampier waiting on the sideline for the play call. Seconds continue to burn on the clock as Dampier won't snap this ball until there are under 6 minutes remaining here at Toyota Stadium. Isaiah Cobb in the backfield. Jake Johnson out wide to the right. Dampier looking, still looking. Has room to run. Dampier inside the 10, inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal for Georgetown. Great job by Dampier looking down the field the whole way, but finally saw green space and tucked it and ran. Well done there. It's a gain of 12. It'll be 1st and goal from the 4. Dampier showing himself very, very well here in the 4th quarter. Very efficient day. 11-15, now it's 12 of 16 for 148. Tigers need the end zone on this series. Dampier, pressure coming, and he'll go down in the backfield. Ball came out. Was Dampier down, or is that ball loose? The official still discussing this here. I didn't hear a whistle, but I also haven't seen a signal that it's Lindsey Wilson football either. Obviously, the Blue Raiders think it's their ball. Now the officials finally come together at about the 10-yard line to hash this out. It's Lindsey Wilson football, and flags fly in here after the play is over. Dampier was hit from the right side as he was going down. The ball came out, and Georgetown will turn it over again. This one, the likely death knell. After the play, Aaron Maggard called for an unsportsmanlike. So if you're keeping tabs, that's the 3rd unsportsmanlike penalty for Georgetown in the game, but that's not the story here. Another implosion in the red zone for Georgetown. Dampier had been playing so well And by and large, the offensive line had been holding up well, but that time just too much pressure from the right side. And Dampier lost the ball on the way down. Coach Cronin still in vehement disagreement with the call. Thought Dampier was down on the play, but the call stands. It's another Georgetown turnover, and all Lindsey Wilson has to do now is just start burning clock. Boyd out to the far side. Holleran brings him down at the 34-yard line as we go under 5 minutes to go. 2 turnovers approaching the end zone for Georgetown. 0 for 5 on 4th down. The botch on the punt late in the first half. This, I would have to imagine, is going to be a game that the Tiger coaching staff looks back on when they see the film and feels like they gave one away. Georgetown has outgained Lindsey Wilson by 150 yards in the game. The Tigers have 474 yards offense, but just 14 points. Dukes hands it off the middle to Boyd once again. And several Tigers in and there on the spot as Boyd crosses the 34 to the 36-yard line. 4:15 to go. And for the moment, Georgetown will keep its timeouts in its pockets. The Tigers have all 3 to use. I would think here if Georgetown gets a stop on this 3rd down play, they will go ahead and use one of those timeouts to get the ball back to the offense. Blue Raiders 4 of 11 on 3rd down. They are in no hurry to snap this one. They're still looking at the sideline. 15 seconds on the play clock. Third down and 3. Dukes hands off to Boyd, and he will be stuck right at the line of scrimmage and won't come close to a first down. Clock rolls with 3:25 to go, and Georgetown now will go ahead and use its first timeout to stop it with 3:23 before a Lindsey Wilson punt. Lindsey Wilson 3 minutes and 23 seconds away from going to a 3-0 start in league play. And they have a road trip coming next week to Cumberland, who is struggling early in the season, before they go to host Thomas More in 2 weeks. Thomas More won their first 2 and then last week routed at home by Bethel by a score of 49-7. So not sure what you're going to get there from the Saints, but if Lindsey Wilson can get out of here with a win, they are in firmly in the driver's seat in the Bluegrass Division to win it again and receive that auto bid into the playoffs. Georgetown, meanwhile, this game still some time to go, but if Georgetown indeed doesn't come up short, the Tigers likely are going to have to run the table the rest of the way. They've got games with Campbellsville, Bethel, and then 2 road trips to Thomas More and Pikeville in April to close the season. Tigers, if they don't come back in this one, are going to likely have to finish 6-1 if they want to make the playoffs here. I don't think a second loss on the season, given the fact that Lindsey Wilson and Georgetown are the only 2 ranked teams in the Bluegrass Division. There's just not enough quality wins left available to Georgetown to try and make up for a potential second loss. But still some time left to be had here as Lindsey Wilson, before the punt, will take a timeout. I think the Georgetown staff thought Lindsey Wilson might have been changing their mind here to go for it on 4th down, as the Georgetown defense was about ready to come back on the field, but instead it will be the Lindsey Wilson punting unit. Sauter lines up just inside his own 25. Barber the same for Georgetown. 3 minutes and 23 seconds remaining. Georgetown about to get the ball back, and will have to go in a hurry when the possession begins. Sauter's best kick of the day sends Barber back to his 20, goes right through his hands, back inside the 5-yard line, and Barber just falls forward to the 6. It's just been that kind of day for Georgetown special teams. Barber, pretty easy one to field, and it just went right through the hands. Had room to return it. Really no Blue Raider within 8 to 10 yards of Barber. Would have had some room to make something happen, but let it go. Fortunately, he was able to pick it up and at least fall forward back to the 6. He'd started his recovery back inside the 3, and Zach Dampier back on the field for Georgetown. Dampier 12 of 16 for 148, but of course lost that fumble on the last possession. And now Dampier this side has it to Tamir Jones. Nice little toe tap on the near side for Jones as he has it across the 20. Third catch of the day for Jones. It'll be a gain of 15. So Jones now 3 catches for 61. Georgetown showing it has a plethora of weapons at wide receiver. You look right now, Jake Johnson, 5 catches for 102. Darius Barber, 8 for 98. Aaron Maggard, 9 for 74. Jones, 3 for 61. Here is Maggard one more time. He has a first down out across the 30 and out of bounds to the 33-yard line. Bryson Cobb's got a couple. Brandon Leff, 3 for 38. Noah Kramer hasn't seen really a ball thrown his way since the first half. He has 2 catches for 27. But Georgetown's quarterbacks have just not been able to consistently put drives together in this game, whether it's Ben Hunter-Kraus or Zach Dampier. Screen set up into the middle. Bryson Cobb has it. And good recovery on the play by the Lindsey Wilson defender. That was Trey Cole, the redshirt freshman backup defensive tackle. Chased Cobb down from behind. The nearly 300-pounder hustling back. Limits Cobb. It is a gain of about 6 on the play. But nevertheless, good hustle from Cole there. It looked like Cobb had it set up for what would have been a first down. Under 2 minutes to go here at Toyota Stadium, and Georgetown about to fall to 2-1 on the season. Dan Pierce swinging it out wide, bit behind Isaiah Cobb, but he brings it in. Not much else doing, though, with it.
Number 2, Isaiah Cobb on the reception.
It's Cobb's 4th catch of the day, but actually lost a couple of there. So 4 for 14 for Cobb on through the air, 6 for 29 on the ground. Tigers 50% on 3rd down in the game, 8 for 16. Got to have another one here with a $1:10 remaining. Pressure coming. Dampier going to run out to that far side, and he is chased out of bounds on that far side by Devin Holmes. Freshman getting some action here late in this one. Picked up 1, so to make it 4th and 5 with 1:02 to go. Georgetown has still yet to convert a 4th down in the game. They're 0 for 5. Tigers need the 43-yard line to keep the drive alive. Really nothing much more than scoreboard dressing the Tigers would do anyway if they're able to get anything else on the board. Won't matter anyway as Dampier threw it into a spot nobody was occupying, and Georgetown for the 6th time in the game fails to convert on 4th down. And the Tiger defense about ready to come back on the field for the final time. I see defensive coordinator Shane Housekeeper clapping his hands almost as if to tell his defense, hey, you guys have done enough here today to win this game, and I agree. Lindsey Wilson in the game, just 328 yards on offense. That is 60 yards below their average for the first 2 games of the year. And if you go back to their stats from last season, more than 100 yards down. In either case, all the Blue Raiders have to do here is just kill the clock. Cameron Evans, the backup, has come in to take the snaps here, and he will kneel down here and kneel down one more time. And Lindsey Wilson is going to win its 7th straight against Georgetown in this series. that began back in 2010. Most importantly here this season, the Blue Raiders are going to go to 3-0 in the division with right now, looks like a pretty clear path to the title. A lot of things still to be determined. Like I said, Thomas More still going to have something to say about that. Bethel will have something to say about that. But Lindsey Wilson gets both of them at home later in the year as Evans takes one more knee. And Lindsey Wilson has assumed full control of this rivalry as they do indeed make it 7 in a row over Georgetown and once again come to Toyota Stadium and win comfortably as the Blue Raiders knock off Georgetown by a score of 35-14. Coach Cronin, Coach Oliver talk at midfield. Chris Oliver in his career now improves to 85 wins against just 30 losses in his 11th season. He has his team primed for another run and not only a conference title, but they feel like they've got the horses to make a deep run in the national tournament as well in the playoffs. Georgetown, meanwhile, falls to 2-1. A lot of good to take from this game from the Tigers. They gain over 500 yards offense, 505 to be exact. Nearly double up Lindsey Wilson in first downs. Tigers had nearly 30 first downs in this game and 8 of 17 on third down, but can't overcome two costly red zone turnovers, that botched punt late in the first half and 0 for 6 on fourth down. And as a result, the Tigers go down here in the home opener by a score of 35-14. Georgetown still trying to figure out who its quarterback is going to be going forward. Good moments for both Hunter Krause and Zach Dampier in the game. Also some shaky ones as well, namely the turnovers. The interception from Krause as the Tigers are going into the end zone, and then they're late in the fourth with Georgetown inside the 20. Zach Dampier fumbles the ball away, really making the difference offensively. Krause finishes the day 24-38, 309 yards, no touchdowns, one pick. Dampier, 16 of 21, 179, and the touchdown to Tamir Jones. 4 Tigers today with at least 60 yards receiving in this one. Cameron Dukes for Lindsey Wilson, 13 of 21, 241, and 2 scores. Terrell Cole, the high receiver for Lindsey Wilson, 5 for 108. So Georgetown comes up short here today by a score 35-14. That score no way indicative of how this game played out. Tigers were their own worst enemy today. It wasn't necessarily the doing of Lindsey Wilson that made the score what it was, but Lindsey Wilson did a good job taking advantage, and that's what top 5 teams in the country do. Lindsey Wilson showing that trait anyway and worthy of that number 4 ranking. And so Georgetown now is going to have some work to do the rest of the way if they're going to try and get back to the playoffs in the NAIA. And that will start 1 week from today when the Campbellsville Tigers come to town. We will have that game live here on Stretch. Kickoff at 3:30. We'll get you going here with the pregame at roughly 3:15 Eastern Time. As Coach Cronin meets with his team one more time. Stay tuned to GeorgetownCollegeAthletics.com and all our social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also subscribe on YouTube. You can keep track of any and all schedule alterations to any of the spring sports. You can also keep track there of the Georgetown men's basketball team as they go to Alabama next week for the opening rounds of the NAIA men's tournament. If the Georgetown Tigers men's team makes it to Kansas City, we will be there for the coverage in a couple of weeks. But that's going to wrap up our coverage here today on the gridiron. Lindsey Wilson has now won 7 in a row over Georgetown as they come to Toyota Stadium and defeat the Tigers by a final score of 35-14 for our entire Tiger Sports Network. My name is Jason Griefer. Thank you so much for joining us. Still a lot of work to be done here for Georgetown, but still a long way to go in this 2021 spring football season, which you've watched the kickoff of live here on Stretch.